In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission.
Mikey, what are you doing?
I'm doing the thing for the podcast.
It's not that hard, bud.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends podcast.
Bully the shit out of him. We were drunk and we came from an open mic or from a fucking
That we were already salty
from
about.
Austin.
We were I'm never going to San Antonio again.
We were
That's
salty
a
about it
bullies.
because we were convinced that we could have did a better job than Dave Attell and Jeff Ross, which is just arrogance on our part. It's just absolute arrogance.
I don't think I can take on Attell's solo. But those two on stage together.
I couldn't take on Ross solo.
Yeah, I couldn't do Adele solo either.
Dude.
Those two on stage together, though, it was. I think the reason we were probably salty about it is it was late in the tour. It was
they
really
phoned it in.
late in the tour.
It was phoned in and it was
yeah,
like, this is so scripted. It's fucking.
They'd done it too many times and the bid had gone stale because neither one of them's been on tour much. And so, but their names together was heavy enough to like sell a lot of fucking tickets.
Yeah.
It was definitely a money grab tour. And so they just stacked them. I think they were performing like every other night.
Something like that. And it was all
in a
over.
different city.
Yeah.
Like it was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think by the time we saw it, it was just.
Well, and I want to say like they only had like 4 shows after ours for the entire tour. Like
That was a weird night.
if you looked at the t-shirt, San Antonio was towards the bottom. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, if you look at a map, it is too.
you're not wrong. Yeah.
That was a weird night.
It was a fun night.
It was a fun night, but it was a weird night. That big motherfucker in them sandals.
That fucking beta motherfucker didn't know what hit him. That shit was fucking hilarious. Fuck. He was not prepared for the level of roast that he got, man. It was great.
Was he at the comedy show?
No, he was.
No, we met him afterwards.
That was when we went to an Irish pub that turned out to be an EDM house. It was fucking weird.
Yeah, we were not in a good headspace, man. Like, because every time we're like, all right, all we want is nachos. Can't have nachos.
We found
What the
one
fuck you
place
mean
that
you
had
can't have
nachos, but they were $38 and had
Like,
everything but cheese on them. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at right now? And you got like 4.
Yeah, it was weird.
I don't want your artisanal nachos.
And the fucking idiot hostess lady was like, our nachos are so good. And I'm like, okay. I'm like,
what's on them? What isn't? Fuck off.
wrong answer.
I wanted liquid cheese and a shitty chip. If they were roughly a day stale, that'd
Dude,
be even better. Right
if I
now.
could have found a fucking 7-Eleven, I'd have been happy as shit.
Yeah.
I just got 7-Eleven chips and
The
fucking
bag of
cheese.
chips and the cheese
Yeah.
pushed
Fuck
by
yeah.
the dispenser.
You don't know when it's been refilled.
Yeah.
Dude.
No, you don't want to know.
Sir,
What it's-
it's slow cooked.
Slow and low, dog.
There's 4 logs of Velveeta that have been marinated for 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's aged.
That's how they get aged cheddar.
Yeah.
Cheddar-ish.
See, and I take it up a notch. I don't even use the chips. Like, I keep the chips in the bag and I just take that fucking
That
bowl,
make a bowl.
and fill that bitch with
It's a
half
dip,
chili
baby.
and half fucking cheese. And I'm like, I'm on it.
Fuck.
Let's go.
Yes.
And then I get diarrhea.
Happens.
And that's just nice.
That's like, I'd like to
I've
see
never
it.
met somebody that appreciates getting diarrhea.
Yeah, well, you got to purge your soul sometimes. Are we fucking recording?
We have,
Oh,
of course.
okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Freedom Friends podcast. It's brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO, screw yourself that sweet 15% off.
And visit purgeyoursoul.com.
Discount code Mikey.
They sell
Only
nachos.
Farts. Go to onlyfarts.com and say hi to Elon for us. Check out IC Tech coolers for those who get it. Go to ictech.com and use that code FreedomFriends10. And wellness.us for all those CBD treats and needs. Go over there. Use FreedomFriends25. Get you a quarter off your order. Otherwise, sup, fuckers?
Please tell me you're looking up purgeyoursoul.com. He's like, no, you already fucked up my search profile.
Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. I finally got it back to a normal algorithm.
Well,
Well,
what's the slap?
loosely normal.
Fair heads up, boys. PurgeYourSoul.com is up for grabs.
Hey.
Oh, how is that in today's day and age? How is that available?
I think we should make it one of those shitty blog recipe sites, but it's just things that are just going to blow out your O-ring if you eat them. Like, it's just,
You're like, man, I had,
be like,
I
there
had
I
Taco
was.
Bell breakfast this morning, and let me tell you.
Okay, so who out of us four is going to be the one that has to eat the food to rate?
I didn't say the stories had to be honest.
Oh, see, that's no fun.
Well, it could just be based off past experiences too.
Yeah.
I
No,
say
I-
we make the recipes in batches and then do it at soup kitchens.
with the complaint box at the end of the line.
Just outside the bathroom.
In the shape of a little toilet.
Yeah. Use your complaints. Come one, come all. How was you guys' Veterans Day?
Uneventful,
Yeah.
which was nice.
I
It
was
worked.
I was in Tupelo, Mississippi, doing a cigar event with Spring Street Cigars.
How'd that go?
It was really fun. Got to see some guys that I've met out there, known them for years now. Got to hang out, and bullshit a little bit. They do a really cool event. They give away a free cigar and a free beverage, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, to any military veteran and first responder that comes through on Veterans Day.
That's pretty cool.
They have 9 locations, so they went through a whole bunch of product and beer and everything. But it's really good, and it's really funny too
I
because
feel like that's a better deal than Applebee's.
right. But it's really funny because like
It's like dessert after Applebee's.
it's government spending at its best, right? So the entire firehouse shows up in fire trucks and ambulances, so they can go get their cigars and beverages. But they also get to write it off as mileage.
It's the most fire truck. That's
You
the
know
most
what I mean?
fi-
And
that's
I
the
was
most
like, I
yeah.
appreciate this.
Yeah, that's the most fireman shit I've ever
Yep.
heard.
But yeah, it was really fun. It's always fun hanging out with those guys.
Yeah,
So
nice. I was hungover on Veterans Day. Pretty good one.
how come?
Well, it started
At midnight
I think midnight. I was already going on Veterans Day. Yeah, I was
till about
definitely already
4
there.
a.m.
Yeah, Scott was with me Friday night, Marine Corps birthday. You guys have all heard me talk about Satmar out there, the San Antonio Marines, the social club that I started back in like 2015, and it's got about 1,600 members in it locally now.
Felt like half were there.
I would say I'd say about 500 showed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty big. It was a good size, man. And then coupled with like a small like remembrance thing for Jules and everything, it turned out to be pretty good, man. And speaking of which, I want to shout out to a lot of the Freedom Friends who have reached out and said their condolences for Jules' passing. We appreciate that, man. That's real cool of you guys to pay attention enough that you give a fuck. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
But Marine Corps birthday was definitely a solid one. I know about 3 a.m. I got an IV at the bar.
Yes, I have a video.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right. That was nice of her. And then Scott made sure I got home all right. Put me in an Uber. I thought we were dropping you off at first.
So did I. I must have put it in backwards.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't drive him home. I hailed the Uber for us.
Yes. Yes.
That poor guy.
How bad?
Our conversation was off the rails, especially when we first got in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it tapered down as we were. Yeah. But,
Well, you pick up dudes from a bar at 3
4
a.m.
3:30. 3:30 he picked us up.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you're going to
Yeah.
anticipate that because
Yeah.
we're in there after the place closes, and just hanging out and fuck. It was
I mean, if you're driving Uber at 3:30 in the morning, you have to expect this.
you expect,
Yeah.
you assume some risk of that shit.
When I
think.
drive, I drove Uber in the past. And when I would drive at like 3 a.m. was my favorite time because I would fucking fuck with people.
But you like drunk people.
I do like drunk people.
There's
You are a
difference.
fan of drunk people. That's
That
true.
Uber driver was not.
I remember him being real fucking straight face.
He didn't even engage. Not one word, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
I do remember that to the point that it was almost awkward.
Yes.
Okay.
Like he should have chimed in like, you guys are fucking hammered. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Put in a lot of work today.
But because I got there at like 7:38.
Same.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
you got
full
there.
shift.
You probably got there 20 minutes after I did.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that's a full shift.
oh yeah.
And yeah.
I woke up at 8 a.m. on my couch, sitting like this, completely dressed, just sitting straight up. And my kids are running around being crazy. And Haley's like, go the fuck upstairs. I'm like, So I just go upstairs and I strip my clothes off and I lay in bed and I pass out. And then at 11, she comes in. She's like, I brought you McDonald's. I'm like, God damn it, you're fucking awesome. I was just like, this is exactly what I needed. Had a double quarter pounder with some fries and a Diet Coke, and I was good to go then. And I was like, well, I got to get up anyways because I was going to Warfighter Scuba's event.
Yep.
They had a range event up in Wimberley, Texas, which was pretty dope. And I went up there and got to hang out with my buddy Joe, aka the Bearded Frogman.
Did you get some pistol instruction from
I did
SEAL
not.
Team 6?
From SEAL Team Sexy? I did not get
No.
any pistol instruction from SEAL Team Sexy. No. But a lot of people did. And mainly I went up there to help. I wanted to go up and help out. And if I could, and I ended up like, carrying shit and moving stuff around for him and stuff like that. And that's why I went up. But it was good to see those guys. And then John and I ended up both separately. We won some
of their live auction items.
Yeah, some auction items. And I know I'm pretty happy with my purchase.
I'm super stoked.
Pretty stoked on yours.
Yeah.
They're both real fucking nice. I got me a PWS rifle. It's all Cerakoted and sexy. And you got a dope ass Glock.
Yeah, I got a Glock 45 with framework done by DEFCON 3.
Yeah.
And
I'm really glad you got that, man. You needed another
sweet
Glock.
Cerakote. I did. I was short one.
Well, in his defense, he did just lose one recently.
No, honestly, the reason
Down one.
the
yeah.
reason I was bidding on it is because the slide was cut for an RMR and it had an RMR on it. And I was just like, well,
So
all I have to do is buy a light now.
If you got it for a decent price, then the RMR is almost worth it. Based on the price of RMR.
Oh, it's not the new with the top battery compartment, but still, it's RMR.
The old RMR is still fucking cheap.
And Julian from
I mathed it out, and it was a good deal.
Yeah.
Julian, the dude who built that
Yeah.
gun, I got a chance to link up with him and kind of pick his brain a little
from
bit.
DEFCON 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good fucking dude, man. Like that's a good guy.
Their framework's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks real good, man. And the stippling on that, like when I picked that thing up, I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is nice,
Yeah.
dude. Like, yeah, it's super nice. So
Yeah.
I might even drop something off to him and have him do some work for me or
Yeah.
something. Like, cause that's,
I can't. All my guns have metal frames.
yeah. We'll be over here with our plastic shit.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would say you can't break it, but they fucking effectively broke mine that week on Saturday.
Oh, it didn't break. It just fell apart.
It fell fucking apart. That said, the same people who put together the slide that fell apart on me, Jazz, also put that upper together that's sitting in front of you. So you might want to check the torque specs.
I'll rip it all the way down and start over.
Yeah.
Besides, honestly, from here forward is still worth what you paid for.
Yeah.
Mikey got me a present.
I did.
But since it's not even Thanksgiving, we're just going to say
You just needed it.
it was a present.
Yeah.
But I've been talking about wanting an upper, a barrel and solution and all that kind of stuff. And I was tossing around ideas about what I wanted on this length, that length, and Mikey was like, "Here you go, problem solved."
Because you already have upper and lower, right?
I have upper, lower, BCG,
Yeah, you
trigger
got
group.
everything.
Like I
You
literally
just
have
needed that half of
everything
that
from
front.
the breech forward.
Yeah.
And so literally
Now you got an extra upper.
because you told me
Now he just needs another lower.
but
See, this is how it fucking.
I have one actually that doesn't have anything.
Now you have an
Look
upper.
at you fucking
Now you're
solving
getting a barrel.
problems.
I got you, dog.
See that's how it starts, though, right?
Yeah.
You find like this deal was found, so you get it, and then you build your rifle, and you're like, "Fuck yeah, I'm complete." And then you look to the left, and you're like, "Ooh, I have enough parts to start another build."
Right.
You're like, "Oh, what do I need on that?"
You know what
Always.
sucks is that like
Every
I'll go
time,
through,
dude.
I'll go through my
Every
parts
time.
it and find shit.
I used to,
And then
to
like
joke
I'll go
around.
look for like one fucking thing that I should have 17 copies of based on how many parts I've either just bought or swapped out or upgraded because some fucking ad convinced me that was the thing that needed to be done. I don't have any like just buffers and buffer springs sitting around. And I'm like, how do I not have
That's usually the part that nobody has.
but I don't
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Like
I think I know what happened is a guy that was getting into it and I had like just like a box of shit I'd been moving around for years and I finally was like, this can be your problem now. And now like because of that lower build, there's no buffer spring.
Yeah.
And So every time you move it, the bolt wants to like fall into the fucking.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
It'll go bang
So,
once.
Yeah.
Recoil pretty hard.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, you're gonna know it.
I used to joke around and I'd like find like a fucking safety detent spring. And I'm like, ooh, time to build an AR.
It's just from your last build that you were like trying to put in. It was like, bing.
Yeah.
That is the worst sound in the world, man. I started doing it inside of plastic bags.
There is a spring.
Like I put my hands in a fucking Ziploc now.
There's a
and do that
trigger
shit.
spring off of an EAA witness that I fucking launched into outer space. Like it was gone.
There's a
It's to
dust,
the point where
there's a dust cover detent bearing.
Yep. But that trigger spring, we looked for it forever. I ended up having to order. I ordered extras. And then when Scott sold the gun store and we moved everything out of it, it still was nowhere to be found. Like
It's shot through the ceiling tile. or
it
something.
is in orbit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that detent bearing is.
You know how many gun parts are in orbit?
Or-
They're just
All
floating
of
around.
All of them.
Right? Like if you're an astronaut and you like your tether breaks and you're just floating around, just start grabbing
it's-
space dust and
yeah.
you can build an AR when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's how you're gonna get back. Just fucking.
I'm pretty sure that that detent bearing is what caused the first crack in that Tesla Roadster that's in orbit. It's
Yeah.
just motherfucker.
Yeah, man.
Do you have to insure a vehicle you launch into space?
For what?
Damage.
Does Elon have car
Yeah.
insurance on that
I would-
Roadster?
I would-
that he
Like
launched into space?
comprehensive or collision?
I would have insured it.
I think probably
Li-
collision.
Probably
right?
liability only, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe.
It's definitely paid for if you're sending it up there.
yeah, it's liability only. That way, if it happens to fall and murder a family,
Yeah.
I'd insure it and be like, my car disappeared.
they'll be like, go ahead and find it. Yeah.
Where's the last place you saw it?
Well, see, I gave it
South
to this-
Texas,
I gave it-
Florida.
I gave it to this valet. It never came.
Or you just call them up and be like, dude, my car got yeeted into orbit. And they're like, no way. I'm like, no, seriously, it's up there.
Claim insurance on that.
That'd be hilarious, man.
Those 35 potholes are a fucking monster.
When he launched that Tesla, I loved all the memes that were like, "Who's in the spacesuit? Who did Elon kill and put in the spacesuit that's in the driver's seat?"
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that was people were throwing out
Okay, I got
names.
a question for you guys. All these rich individuals that are doing these space trips,
Love it.
do you think that they're like just schwacking people and then sending them to space? And like, how's anybody
No,
going to know?
no, the other way.
What movie was it?
The other way. You bring him to space and then schwack him. Because what law do you fall under? Whose jurisdiction?
Well, you don't have to schwack them. You just fucking open the door.
Whatever.
Probably Russia's.
Well,
It's their space station.
The
oh, it's
Mir,
international.
Yeah, what if you just
the Mir crashed to Earth. Dude.
But you don't
Oh,
have
that's
to,
right.
you know,
Mir's gone.
there's a lot more out there than just the space station.
You know, Mir means peace in Russian.
I did not.
That's what that word means.
Huh. It's just MIR.
Mir
Mir.
means peace.
Sounds like mirda, which
That
means shit.
It was also that.
a piece of?
What the fuck was that movie? It was like a rich guy that they let live on Mir to like slow his cancer down. What the fuck was that? Contact. I think it was Contact, that shitty fucking Jodie Foster movie.
Oh.
There was a guy living on a space station.
I think so. It was because it's supposed to like, anyways. I was sitting there thinking, and I was like, that's where Epstein is. He's up on the fucking international space station. 24 years ago, I believe today, Dogma was released for you View Askew
Yeah.
immersed
Ooh.
people there, Jazz.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Unfortunately, do you know who owns the rights to that movie?
No.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, which is
why-
why Kevin Smith won't agree to let it be screened or printed to disc anymore. He won't allow it to essentially
Well, he's been trying to get the rights back so that he can
but he has
go to a streaming service.
There's another right because he owned the production company to the film,
Mm.
but Weinstein owns the distro to it, but the production company has to agree to the distro.
Yeah.
And he won't agree to anything as long as Harvey Weinstein has any chance of profiting
Well,
from it.
that
He won't
makes-
allow it to be distributed.
That makes me feel better that when I lived in Europe, I downloaded and
Bootlegged
ripped it
it?
onto a CD.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
You know what? I
that
think
makes me feel better now.
having gotten a chance to talk to Kevin, I think I think he would actually be like, fuck yeah, make copies, give them to your friends. Like, I want people to see my film. I just don't want him to make any money.
Well,
on
that's
it.
his thing now, because I guess in recent time he's sent offers to Weinstein's company to buy it back, and they've denied it like 2 times. And he's like, "Fuck you guys, man."
Yeah.
Like,
So now he won't allow it to be. He won't allow it to be like screened, streamed, or like burned, like put on Blu-ray or anything like that for people to buy, because the Weinstein company would profit from it. So
yeah.
So he's essentially eating all of the profit he
Upload
would make.
it to YouTube then.
And well, no, then you end up in a.
Then it's illegal.
Then you end up in, because he doesn't have distribution rights on it.
Yeah.
You end up in the lawsuit
Well,
of
he's not.
distributing it. That
He just needs to make an offer to fucking like I got one 14-year-old girl. Like you good? But then like publish that communication.
Yeah. You're like, look at this fucking freak. Give my movie back, bitch.
just going on. Go with fucking Ashton Kutcher on it and be like, I'm a
Yeah,
celebrity and a predator on here.
Respect that guy for that shit, man.
I just like this dude went from being that 70s show to sitting in front of Congress explaining how the CIA hired him to go find people. And it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's wild.
Kelso? Fucking
Dude, where's my car? Are you
Yeah.
fucking kidding me?
Kelso? The guy that fucked anything that moves is hunting down people that fuck anything that moves? Like, I don't.
Yeah. Basically.
I mean,
It's full.
they
full
smell their
circle,
own,
man.
man. They smell their own.
Fucking.
Fucking A. Jazz, how was your weekend?
It was long but interesting. I saw a man in flip-flops and short shorts fight off 4 other dudes in the rain and somehow was able to run away.
That's a man who's been in a fight before.
where were you?
This was at my place.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, again, they were like, he beat feet, man. He got away. And I was like, he was in flip-flops.
Not even mad. Fucking
Yeah,
impressive,
like-
dude.
And I know the guy. He's a really good dude, but a few
The
too many
guy in
drinks were had.
flip-flops?
Yeah.
This happened in your store?
Just outside.
Were they patrons of your store?
Uh-huh.
All of them?
Yeah.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
This is all alleged. But dude, he fucking so day 2, so he didn't come back for day 2 for obvious reasons. And I'm walking around and there's these dudes and like he's like barely filled with those noodle arms. I'm like, really? Because your whole fucking jawline's purple, my dude. Like,
Your face says different, but
so I'm gonna go with that fucking right uppercut that he caught you with. You felt
That's
that, like, that
funny.
is,
You can try to act hard all you want, dude. The fucking bruises don't lie.
and I know what happened, right? Is like I know what the guy does for a living, and blah, blah, blah. He's actually a really, really good dude. He lost a friend recently who was also in the hobby and had gifted him with this one of the models that he competes with and stuff like that. And it got dropped and broken. And there was drinks around and da 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 da. So emotion got the better of him, and he was pissed, and he was trying to just kind of vent it out or whatever. And somebody else got in his face and was like, "If it's gonna make you feel better, just fucking hit me. Just go ahead, just fucking hit me.
Wow.
Just hit me." And the guy, and I was like, and he
Probably
kept
not the guy to fucking
kept
say that to you
pushing
right
and
now.
pushing and pushing, and so the dude fucking clocked him, and then he tried to leave, and he was drunk, and they already had his keys. He wasn't drunk, but he'd had too much for that level of emotion to be going on.
Yeah.
And so he tried to leave, and they had his keys, and he wouldn't give them to him. And I'm like, let him be mad, and he took off. And I was like, just let him leave. What's he gonna do? Worst that happens is he's gonna decide he wants to go back to his hotel, and he's either gonna have to get an Uber or hail a cab or fucking walk.
Yeah.
You have his car.
Yeah.
Like,
were they his friends?
sure, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that. title.
Acquaintances.
Yes.
Okay.
They are known.
They didn't
entities.
just steal his car.
And so, yeah, they all knew each
Kind
other.
of sounds like they stole his car.
Yeah.
But instead, they decided to follow. Now, I am a bar owner.
You don't follow.
And now it wasn't happening inside my premises.
So now it's not your problem.
No, it's not my problem, but I do have a back door.
Did the first swing?
Yeah.
Did the first swing happen inside? Allegedly.
No.
Got it.
And so, yeah, but this dude, he was in a fucking like Texas Ranger outfit, like for the baseball team because they just won the World Series.
Yeah.
But they were like,
They did?
yeah.
They did.
First one in history. That's their first title ever. I'm not happy about it, but
Yeah,
it is
but
their first title ever.
These two were Astros fans, man.
No, I know, but
He literally lit this guy.
When was
literally-
this? Sorry.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. It's because it's the Rangers.
I'm just like normally like people talk about who won the World
No,
Series.
it's because it was the Rangers.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the
Well, they beat
Rangers-
Philly.
The Rangers are a weird ass team because literally once you get outside Dallas, you like just run out of Rangers fans. So like this is not one of those teams where like
Yeah.
you go to other cities and it's like, I'm a huge Rangers fan.
just-
Like,
I get it. One of you fuckers in the middle of nowhere is gonna be like, I fucking love the Rangers.
Well,
We
yeah,
understand.
Like, yeah, the days of the
However,
Express with Nolan Ryan are over.
I
though,
live
man.
in San Antonio, Texas, and I know there's 3 places here that are Steelers bars. Like, and they are bars for the Pittsburgh
I
Steelers
just-
Yeah.
in San Antonio. Like
Maybe I'm just more in shock that I didn't know the World Series happened.
this season was fucking boring.
Yeah, well, dude, I'm telling you, I think it's new. I think it's the rules changes.
No,
Like-
it was great at the beginning of the year, but the thing was is that it compared to other years where like you had these crazy runs or there was scandal or there was something like
the Red Sox fucked dogs this year.
No idea.
But anyways, but yeah, he was in like short shorts and flip flops and shit, and I'm like, y'all are like, who's completely ahead? And I was like, no, y'all just a bunch of fat fucks. You got your ass kicked by a dude in short shorts and flip flops. Like, like
Were they jorts?
no, they were like
That'd have
they
been-
were like Texas Ranger silkies.
Well, you don't fight that guy. You don't fight that guy.
And I kept saying it.
That's like fucking picking a fight with a dude
Yeah.
with cauliflower ear.
And I'm not going to shout this guy out too much because I don't want to put too much in. But there's some offline stuff I'll tell you about it too. That I kept going. I was like, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Okay. And, like, and I was like, but it was a good weekend. We had that huge tournament and stuff like that. And we crushed.
Nice.
It's like, my weekend was very equivalent to what I just helped you guys with weekend, except
Yeah.
for I didn't have to ship anything.
That's nice.
It was
Fuck yeah.
it was a fucking good weekend.
Nice.
But I also had like no staff, so Saturday was a fucking almost 18-hour shift for me.
Oh,
So
that's
that was 18 hours of slinging beer was fucking. We floated 14 kegs,
Yeah.
and that doesn't include the can
Wow.
material. Just
That's
kegs. We
awesome.
floated 14
Oh
kegs.
yeah.
So yeah, so then a man in short shorts got in a fight because
Yep.
there was 14 kegs to go.
Yeah. And in my defense, I did not try to fight a guy with cauliflower ears.
Yeah.
No, that was not a fight.
Scott,
It was
There was
an
no-
invitation to roll.
There was no animosity
That's how I
between
remember
us.
the
There was
story.
not.
There was none.
Arrogance, no animosity.
Shit-facedness.
Yeah.
The arrogance. There was no arrogance that night. I didn't even
there
know how to-
was. The other guy was very arrogant about it.
Really?
Yeah, he's just like, no, we shouldn't do this. Like, thank
I don't
you.
think that's being arrogant. I think that's being I don't know.
I had a
it was professional.
Responsible,
competent,
professional.
I have another customer that he comes in probably every other day. Retired military guy, but now he's always in. And I guess there's a place here called Ohana Trading Academy.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's like always in their gear, like all the time, and literally, I mean, like his ears are thicker than like a 60-year-old man's wallet. Like they are.
Yeah.
This is not I go train. It is
Yeah.
That's what he does.
he fights.
Yeah.
Like fights. And there was but he's very quiet and great guy. Once you get to know him,
Yeah.
he's fantastic. But when you first meet him, he's very quiet, very flat. Doesn't seem like he has much of a sense of humor and da 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 da. And there was a guy that came in and was like, I don't know who the fuck that guy is. And I was like, I would not do that.
yeah.
I would buy whatever the fuck drink you're gonna do, and you go over there and shake that man's hand and just go like, "Hey man, it was great to play." And leave it at that because I've got 2 fighters in there and they both know each other and both of them are like, I'm like, and the one is way prettier than the other.
So he's better.
We'll go with that.
I don't know if that's always the case.
No.
Man.
In this situation, I think it's probably in this situation they are both fighters, but one of them's a fighter and the
Yeah.
other one has fought.
Okay.
And I think one of them, it's one of those he trained in the discipline and kind of advancing in the discipline required you to get in the ring.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one was like, no, I train to get in the ring. Like that's the whole reason I'm going to the gym.
Speaking of MMA, shout out to Kelsey DeSantis. Got her brown belt.
Nice.
Had a girl. Got a brown belt. I mean, she's got a fucking pro MMA win, so it's probably a good moving in the right direction, right? And then also Scott Davidson from Veteran Success Resource Group had the Battle of the Branches this weekend, and congratulations, Army! You guys took the MMA
Nice.
fight.
We've advanced past the figure 4.
Yeah. Our buddy and friend of the
We've read
show,
up to the
Justin
fifth.
Governell, was the coach for the Marine team. That's how I was staying up to date on it. But yeah, Army won. Way to go!
Thanks.
Didn't even know what was happening.
I really appreciate
That
the
World
recognition
Series.
of the Army winning that. We did so much to help
Yeah.
our team.
Totally, definitely.
Go team.
I watched as much of that as I did of the World Series.
Yeah, right.
Because, I'm in the same boat as the World Series. I didn't even know what happened. I've been a little busy lately.
You have been busy.
I'm really glad these last 6 weeks are over. I'm not gonna lie. It's-
Mine don't stop yet. Mine don't stop till after the first of the year.
I say that, but
God, no, my January's gonna fucking suck.
I don't even want to look.
I haven't even thought about
my
January.
brain stops on the end of this year.
No.
No, I
because
say that 'cause
that's just too much. To
but I've got
focus on.
I've got another tournament. So I had a grand tournament first weekend, a grand tournament the second weekend. I've got a local tournament this weekend. Then we have Black Friday weekend,
Yeah, right.
and then I immediately roll into December,
Yep.
and I already have 3 events scheduled in December, and probably looking at 4.
Yeah.
And it's December,
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
Yep.
and
It's Christmas.
yeah, and I'm a retailer.
You're gonna get
Yeah.
your pee-pee slap.
you're a retailer, and like your store's in a mall,
Yeah.
and that's like the busiest time of fucking year.
And the nice
for
thing is that
anybody in that space.
my customer space at this point, they only shop with me, and they only have one hobby. So then when it turns into the significant other or the kids or anybody that wants to buy gifts for dad, mom, whoever, son, whoever's playing in my place,
They're all coming in there.
they're all coming to me. And it
That's a
makes
good
it,
problem to have.
It is until it turns into, I don't know. It looked like it had a throne on it. I'm like,
They all do.
I'm like,
He
Or-
had a hammer,
or the whole like,
yeah.
there was it's a model, but it kind of looks like a dragon. I'm like, kinda. I'm like,
if you
lady,
said it was a dragon, that narrows it down. But the kind of throws me way.
I
off.
have a weird World War II miniature game that I sell that has like large lizards. So I don't. So now my default is like
Gift card.
sell them a gift card, or hey, you need to go talk to insert gift E here, and have
Well,
them.
you probably know about a lot of your customers too, though.
So I had a wife that called today.
So you could be
she was
like,
like, my husband
"What's his
said
name?"
there's some releases coming that he wants for it. And I was like, who's your husband?
Hold on. This leads me to a very, very, very important topic, especially for you
Yeah.
in this position. And this happened at the gun store. There was a customer at the gun store who is a very, very good customer of the gun store. Spends tens of thousands of dollars.
Put some
And-
stuff on layaway.
Which
As you do.
it wasn't out of the norm. And it was
That's
about Christmas time.
brilliant.
And the wife calls up and goes, "Hey, for Christmas, I'd like to pay off my husband's account." And we knew her and him. So it didn't seem like it was out of the norm,
Whoops.
right?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, that's super cool. you
He's
know?
buying shit out of the honey hole.
right? So
Well-
she's like, well, what's the balance? And so the balance was said.
There's a lot.
And she's like, okay. She's like, well, I'll come down. Okay, cool. Awesome. See you soon. About 20 minutes later, another phone call. What the fuck did you tell her? So we lost a customer that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving forward, our policy was if your name isn't on that account, I'm sorry, we
you get
can't
no
tell you
information.
anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now the one that I
That's good
do
advice.
when the wives call or they whatever, and I'm like, if you don't know what they want, they do. And I'm like, don't even try to remember the name. Have them screenshot whatever the fuck it is it wants, and you can email me. And I give them my email, and I'm like, I will be able to ID it by the picture, and I'll give you a total, and then you can tell me if that's something you want or not.
Sure.
I think this year, though, for all my regulars, I think we're gonna make fucking wish lists, like a pre-printed like wish list. I'm just gonna hand it to my customers and be like, here you go,
Here.
write it on here and give it to your
wife.
person. You know, like and I'll know that they can be like,
Well, you know, that mitigates the problem, though, right? Like,
look, put more than you're gonna get on it,
yeah.
and then bring it to me. That way, whatever she comes in and picks, or
Yeah.
he picks, or your parents pick, or whatever the fuck, at least you know you're getting something you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
So here's a question for you guys. It goes directly along with this. Do you appreciate a gift more if it's something that was known that you wanted? You're like, I want that, or this is really cool. It'd be really nice to have one of these. Or do you appreciate it more when it was just the thought and the gesture, and it was something that you want, but you never said that you wanted that?
The thought and the gesture.
Yeah.
I think it's two different types of appreciation, right?
Right.
So, like, I'll bring something up at some point, talk about my interest in it or whatever, and then one of my friends or my wife or whoever will like go like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Mainly because to me it was a passing conversation, and
Right.
I've forgotten about the conversation.
Like, oh, that's super cool.
Well,
and then
Right. And then
there's an example.
Right.
You
So
know, like, yeah.
and so then when one of my friends goes like, "Look, you didn't ask for this, you did nothing. You just expressed an interest." And I remembered because I saw this thing, and you got me that book that one time. That fucking he got me this
a sneaker book.
It's a huge coffee table book. It's like this. It's like 2 inches thick.
Yeah.
Like, fucking huge.
It's got a picture.
And it's like the
in my
ultimate-
opinion, it's every sneaker ever made.
Right. And it's like the ultimate guide to sneakers. And so it's everything going back, and it's got like history in it and all that kind of stuff. And it was one of those things like a lot of our gifts around here
That's
are,
a
which
jazz
is like
present.
That was like I saw it and I was like, Jazz needs this.
He needs it.
I don't know if he
Or
has it or not, but
he's gonna die if he doesn't.
and it was
needs
it was in like March.
Yeah,
And he
you're
was just like,
you're saving
"Hey,
his life.
I brought you this 7-pound book, but it's some
Yeah.
shit you're into."
I do that for John, but it usually has something to do with drugs.
Yeah. But that one I didn't even mention it. You just saw it. And so that was this is an amazing thought and
Yes.
gesture. But the other one that I really appreciate it because you mentioned something, you said like, I was looking at this and then somebody goes and gets it for it. And it's like, I forgot about that conversation. The fact that you held on to it and then put the effort in to go and find it. And
Right.
you're like, "Hey, I know you said you dug this, so I got it for you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is a sign of like, hey, when you speak, I
listen.
I
I
pay
listen.
attention.
I'm not waiting to speak back. I'm actually listening and absorbing what you're saying. So they're both cool.
Yeah.
Because here on the show, we oftentimes wait to speak.
You're right.
What?
Exactly.
Fucking change this fucking show from the Freedom Friends to just fucking
White
four
noise?
dudes are interrupting each other.
Just changes it to vet interrupted.
That movie fucking sucks. Girl interrupted. Get the fuck out of here. I got guilt tripped into watching that shit years ago. I was like, this is fucking terrible, man. Jesus. Fucking fuck out of here. Ugh. What you got?
I can't remember. That's why I'm looking. I thought I had it, but it's spaced. I got nothing.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Nailed it. I'm telling you, man. I think it's just the week after Veterans Day. It just makes you fucking like kind of meh.
I had more fucking people that were calling and sending me messages and shit that was like, just because I know you fucking hate it, thank you for your service. And I was like, motherfucker. Like all fucking day.
Oh, I do have something. I mentioned that I went to the Warfighter Scuba event on Saturday.
Yeah.
They recently updated their mission statement, and I took a picture of it because it actually really impressed me. And as a guy who's worked in the veteran nonprofit space, I think they're touching on something that I really fucking respect. Right?
I think they
And
just need to change it to drown your problems.
I mean, that's funny. But no, their mission statement is to serve veterans and Gold Star families affected by the trauma of war and create opportunities to prevent divorce and suicide. And I've never seen an organization that focused on preventing divorce. And it's
Okay, but what if she's a cunt?
well, yeah, and sometimes she is, but I really like the idea of an organization that is paying attention enough to fucking actually fix, instead of fixing the symptoms, they're fixing the problem, right? Like, that's a huge stressor at home that people don't often think about when it comes to veteran charity shit, right?
And if you
Like,
really don't want to go home, you just get lost in the third world.
you can. And
I'm
they're in
starting to
Roatan.
understand why these nonprofits don't offer me trips.
Yeah, we know. Yeah. We actually call them and go, don't offer this guy a trip.
Don't.
Like, you do not want this.
Do you know anybody that wants to? No.
Nope. Sure don't.
No, it is actually.
It's interesting. Like it's not something that I've seen in any other nonprofit mission statement.
But yeah, and it's. I think it is important that yes, the suicide thing is a problem, right? And we make a lot of jokes here and whatever, but the suicide thing it's a fucking problem. Everybody in this room has lost somebody because of it. So
it's definitely been affected.
But it is important that a lot of these organizations start looking at there are other non-lethal catastrophic events that can happen because of
and root causes of suicide.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
well, because if you're preventing other traumatic events, you're also preventing that. Like there's a lot of things are already going bad and then she takes off and now it's worse. And now it looks like the only solution is
100%.
So, you can only strip things down so much. I guess he takes off too. This isn't
it could go either way. Sure.
But
it's an inclusive problem.
I just it is good that more than just one issue is being addressed.
Because let's be honest here. Suicide prevention has been beat to fucking death in the veteran space, right?
I like what you did there.
Yeah, that was nice.
You like that?
That's good.
It's been beat to fucking death. It's hung itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like the awareness piece is done. All right. We're all aware that it's a problem. We all did the fucking push-ups back in the day and whatever. Right. But it's like, now let's focus on the root causes of what's actually causing that effect.
It's really hard to change shitty command when you're a civilian.
Yes, very, very true.
You can just push your mic away now. Like that's you're done. Like that.
Talking about veteran suicide, active duty, nobody gives a fuck.
I'm talking about veteran suicide too.
He's kidding. Ish.
Yeah.
It's ish. It's ish.
Did Johnson kill himself? No, that fucker's AWOL. We'll find him eventually.
Yeah, we'll find him at his funeral. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know, man.
Oh, Jesus.
I still want to know what happened to Chuck Weeze. You let me down, Freedom Friends. Nobody ever found Chucky Weeze. Fucking old Chuck Weisner. The dude that went fucking UA I told you about, like year one of this show.
Yeah.
He went like UA and then like basically sent us a postcard from Thailand. Like, I'm out, bitches. Like left all of his shit, JOB inspection ready on his bunk. And a note was like, I'm done. And just fucking split.
That means he did it right.
Oh, he did it 100% right. He came back from deployment. He fell in love with the little Asian lady out there on deployment, which happens. Judging by most Marines' wives, it's a normal thing.
Do you know how many new recruits we get if it wasn't contractually you had to stay?
What do you mean?
Like,
if you could just get out?
Yeah.
Like I quit?
Yeah.
Like 2-week notice thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. People would be like, dude, I'm a veteran. I've been a veteran like 17 times.
But
every time I need money.
On the reverse of that, how many people would get fired?
But okay, but
all of us.
But think about the strength of force we'd have if it did have like that ability to like hire and fire.
It
like
would be
that.
even more corporate than it already is.
Yeah.
At this point, we either need to shit or get off the pot with it, though. It either needs to go to like corporate, because if it does go corporate, we can bring in like.
Then it'd be the Air Force.
If it was corporate,
but you could bring in efficiency experts and just start.
Action review would be like, you didn't kill anybody. One more fucking mission of you not killing anybody, and we're gonna have to fucking put you on probation, John.
Yeah.
Right? What do you think this is? Just a waste of money to go out on a mission?
You get put on a pip because you didn't murder anybody. Yeah. You like, put on a pip.
We're here to kill the bad guy, motherfucker. Why don't we try killing the bad guy? What are we doing? Just wasting our goddamn time driving around looking for IEDs. How about you kill the motherfuckers?
And then HR comes up to you and is like, Sergeant Jansen, you can't say kill the motherfuckers. We have new policies.
You have to,
The term that
you
you
have to
now
give
have
them
to
a
use-
written warning
No, it'd be
before
great
you kill them.
because we could bring in these efficiency experts and they'd be sitting there going like, "All right, Major, what is it that you do in this chain of command?"
Oh, that'd be so.
Oh,
It'd be like
Every major's unemployed like that.
Well, see, I connect this department. I'm a people person, and we can just be like, "You're fucking gone."
You're
man."
worthless.
Like, yeah.
Fuck outta
But
here.
when we bring in those people, we have to warn them about warrant officers and be like, "Listen, you're going to see their name on a roster, and you're going to supposed to
And you're
talk
not going
to
to worry
them.
about it.
For one, don't worry about it. But for two, if you want to worry about it, you're not going to be able to find them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You're
it's
gonna-
okay.
You're going to have a conversation with a patrol cap on a desk.
It's
Like,
okay,
that's,
though.
that's how this is going to work.
There
But-
might be keys in it. We don't know.
Yeah, but what if though the HR department was all about the efficiency of the mission and not
Yeah.
like what if they said, no, you need to kill the motherfucker? What if that was your HR department?
It would only work if it got transitioned to a private company.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it's almost private as it
and
is.
they don't like Blackwater anymore.
Yeah.
It's
No,
because-
that was to shuffle off fucking other stuff. I'm talking about like that level of structure. But if the HR department was like efficiency of mission,
Yeah.
then that means that the only people that would be able to have their jobs that are controlling the missions
Eat
are the
fire
ones
below.
that are HR compliant. So that means your command line, they're going to be the ones that like, yeah, you're not here for a fucking observe and report. Go fucking execute. Like
Yeah.
that would
Literally.
be the command line because that would be the policy. That would be the HR policy. And it's like, well, you're not hitting your mission objective. Your job was to make sure that the pull triggers were as efficient as possible going out and pulling trigger. And you didn't get that fucking done. So you're done. And we're going to find somebody that fucking can.
Yeah.
And
Like,
then,
like a 240 gunner.
and then that
you're
solves
graded.
the fucking,
You're
fucking
graded.
shitty command line.
You only get 150 rounds of ammo per kill. Otherwise, I mean, what the fuck are we doing here, John?
Yeah.
It's not Vietnam anymore. Fuck.
You really got to bring these numbers up.
Do you guys
Yeah.
ever read
You
on,
really need to
on
bring these
killing or
numbers
on
up.
combat
Yeah.
when they go over the stats from Vietnam and how many rounds
The rounds per death.
per
Yeah.
death over the entire Vietnam War?
Yeah.
It's insane.
You might want to Google that one, Justin.
I like how they just round them off.
I
too.
want to
They're
say
just
it's like something
eh.
like 100,000
Yeah.
Yeah, per
rounds.
kill.
And like snipers were like in the hundreds. It was like a
It was
couple
something
hundred. per one.
crazy. Yeah. When I got to that section of the book, I was like, what?
A mutual friend of ours has told me some stories about like that
Yeah.
era of and it's hilarious to watch him talk about some people and then names come up that like you recognize and it's like and it starts turning into the whole fucking SEAL Team 6 thing where it's like they had a good writer and it was like what and it was like motherfucker didn't do any of that shit and it was like I'm like keep going sir, can I get you another round? Like
Holy shit. So in Vietnam, the American military establishment consumed an estimated 50,000 rounds of ammunition for every enemy killed.
there you go.
Yeah.
Break that down by branch.
Okay, listen up, overachievers. Just because
Well,
we aim better than you do.
actually, that's false, sir.
In that situation, they couldn't fire the rounds.
real fucking mad because we were like, we're out of ammo because we're fucking one shot, one killing, and the army's using it all. that's
Yeah,
how-
if you actually go look at those stats in that service, because they were so under equipped for the mission, they couldn't just spray and pray. Like it was like
we had to fucking one shot, one kill.
I watched
It helped
the
develop our
Pacific.
doctrine.
I watched the Pacific. I seen the rates of fire in that movie.
Oh,
that
dude,
series.
John Basilone just dropping the big dick, bro. Bro. Like that fucking firefight where he got the Medal of Honor on
Yeah.
Guadalcanal is legend. Because
Yeah.
like no glove and just fucking
Yep.
burnt, like
Yep.
third degree burn in his arms and shit. That's a legendary fucking firefight, man.
you
like-
started the Marine.
That's why
What
the 240
fuck?
Golfs don't have handguards.
Dude, we all
They're
want to be
paying
Basilone.
tribute.
We all want to be
It's-
John Basilone.
Like
It's just-
someday,
He also
somebody's
fucked
gonna,
Anne Margaret, so let's give some credit here,
they're like,
guys.
someday some Marine's going to be a Medal of Honor recipient because we got rid of this handguard.
Yeah. Get your shit together, Dakota.
That right there is actually the whole reason that I fucking love the Marines. And it's like they're all like a walking museum. And it's
Right.
just like, and if you get just feed them a little bit,
Dude, it's beaten to our head.
I know, but I like it. Like I'm like,
Fucking, do you know what year the Banana Wars were? Nobody does, but they were fucking 1801.
Did they? Was it in Japan?
No.
Oh,
South America.
Different banana wars.
Much different. No, I fought that alone. I'm the lone survivor now.
where's my award?
It's the gift that keeps on giving. You never get rid of it. Can't wipe it off. Or the Boxer Rebellion. Nobody knows when that happened. 1800.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one of us that was around then.
I wasn't a Marine.
See, he doesn't know.
To be fair, most of the shit that we fucking... I'll give you a fucking example. Most of the shit we should probably give credit to the Army for, if I'm going to be completely honest. Like the Battle of Chapultepec, for instance, right? Where the Marines got blood stripes. 95% of the fight of the force was Army officers. It was
And
Army
it was
officers.
all over a burrito.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you blame them?
Not really.
I like
Not a big
that-
fan of
that-
Chipotle.
That big,
Like,
that really famous amphibious assault they did that one time was
The Army?
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, the largest amphibious assault ever conducted was done
You
by
mean
the Army.
Tarawa? Yeah, you guys are adorable. Tarawa was the largest amphibious assault.
D-Day.
Tarawa was bigger.
Justin.
But which one is talked about?
Well,
Which one did they make movies about?
Yours was way cooler. I'll give you that. Yeah. I am fucking stoked to go there next year, man. I had somebody ask me, they're like, can you bring me back some Omaha Beach sand? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm going to.
Nice.
You know, like, it's just fucking, like, it's cool shit.
Well, I'm going to get early on the list and add my name to that. Too.
You're already on it.
Okay.
All of you guys are already on that shit. Oh, you mean the 101st dudes? Yeah, definitely you're on it, bro. Come on, man. Hey, you know what? Your two best friends that happen to be 101st vets? Yeah, dude, don't worry. Like when I jump into St. Mary-Glise, I will have Warfighter with me. All right? So like that's happening, dude.
I might go even if I'm not jumping.
Haley needs somebody to hang out with.
There you go.
It's like shit. Are you looking up the Pacific? You're just gonna watch the scene?
Pacific's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
So is Band of Brothers.
But once every other year, I sit down and watch the Band of Brothers.
Look
again.
at that.
Yeah.
The internet doesn't lie.
man.
Yeah, it was huge.
And that's the
Largest
Eisenhower
amphibious
Library.
one ever.
That's not even like it was just Wikipedia and like I wrote it.
What became known as. It's known as.
Okay,
Now
no.
look up Tarawa.
Yeah, let's
Open up another tab, sir.
Right there, right. If you go down, what's the largest amphibious assault of all times?
155,000 men were landed
And
with a
the
total
first
attack force of 176,000.
Okay.
Operation Overlord.
And 2 beaches were American and the rest were fucking French or Dutch or fucking.
I'm pretty sure
or
all the
everything
beaches,
else.
All the beaches were
foreign.
French.
All the beaches were French.
Yeah, we didn't land on any American beaches.
No, that's very true. We didn't either, to be fair.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Now, look up Tarawa.
You're gonna have to spell it for him.
Tarawa. Tarawa. There's no U in it. Holy shit.
How do I look this up?
Just
What,
Battle
like-
of Tarawa. Like the Wikipedia the page, it's right there. There you go. That's it.
So what was the other one? 176,000?
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, that's total.
It was 144,000 American troops.
18,000 Marines.
35,000 total.
That's all we have, man.
So it was the largest marine amphibious.
Maybe that's what it is. The largest marine. Yeah.
okay. It's okay, Mikey. Math isn't your strong suit.
That
But
fucking
when-
can confirm.
But when you try to put that up against an invasion that was 10 times larger.
Okay, but how many? Because Operation Overlord wasn't
I
just
love the
American.
fact that it is 18,000 Marines, 5 escort carriers, 3 old battleships.
Yeah. Yeah. They were just old.
Yeah.
Is that the most jarring shit ever?
And 14 tanks.
Don't give them the new ones.
Yeah, we had 14.
Get the old ones and
old ones.
14
We had
tanks.
14
That's it. 2 minesweepers. We won't use them, and one's already broke.
I like how if you
Notice they say 35,000 troops and 18,000 Marines.
That's what I'm saying. Now go to Operation Overlord because it'll say
144,000.
that's including the fucking
That's probably including everybody.
air. 123,000. Oh,
No,
the
total
strength
strength
is
was 1.4 million.
that's total strength.
And 2 million by the end of August.
That's total strength. Now scroll up a little bit. Keep going. When it says, see, it doesn't give numbers. Fuck. Because all of those allies did that. All those countries listed right there.
Wait a minute. Are we
did
really
that.
trying to figure out whether or not if we subtract the other allies from 1.4 million, we're going to go down to 18,000?
Yeah. But you're also looking at fucking June 6th till 30 August,
Justin,
man.
scroll down
It was
a little bit.
144,000 in
Keep
the
going.
first 24 hours.
Keep going. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
Deception.
Keep
Deception.
going.
Are you trying to get to casualties?
No, I'm trying to get to the actual invasion. There we go. Invasion. 1.5 million American troops arrived in the UK.
Uh-huh.
That's May.
Yeah.
And then
132,000 men were transported by sea on D-Day, and a further 24,000 came by air.
So
There you go.
132,000.
So we had more by air than you had for your entire battle.
Yeah, Tarwa is this fucking big, man.
Then how is your argument that it's the biggest amphibious assault
term he
in the
left
world?
out- the
It's the
term
biggest
because
amphibious assault the
amphibious
Marines had in the world.
But
Right.
like you said, by ship, how many?
132,000 people.
Okay, and how many were Marines? How many of the Marines are on Tarwa?
18,000.
That's all we got. Fuck. That's like all. That's like all. That's like
That was the
that was the
Marines.
Marine Corps. Yeah, fuck. That was like the. It's per capita. All right.
It's a sliding scale, okay?
Yeah, dude. It's like when I try to tell people how fucking little the Marine Corps is compared to the Army, they're like, well, the Marines, and I'm like, dude, we're so fucking little.
At this point, I think I've met the whole Corps.
Most of them, fucking hands down. like hands down.
There's
Yeah.
more Navy SEALs than there are Marines.
According to them, yeah.
Imagine.
I don't know how the Navy functions because I've never met anybody that was in the Navy that wasn't a SEAL.
I met a cook the other day. He was a fucking tool. And I was like, I wish you just lied to me. And
Did
told
you
me
ever
were a
tell
SEAL.
him about the fucking that pride sticker that we saw on the back of that fucking truck at Ren Fair?
Oh, no. That was a good one, though.
So we were walking along and there was a fucking, he had a vanity. No, so it said like Army veteran and like all the shit over the back of the truck. And then he had a vanity plate, a U.S. Army vanity plate, the veteran tag. And it had his fucking MOS on it. And we're walking
Oh, we had to Google it.
and we looked at it. And he looks at me and he goes, "What's a bleh?" I don't even remember what it was. And I was like,
what's that?
oh,
It was a
it was an 88 something.
no,
and I
it
was
wasn't
like,
a truck driver because I would have got that
no,
right out the
88
gate.
Mike is a truck driver.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was transpo
or something. Mike, no. And so I was like,
Water
What the-
purification
and
specialist.
it had it
No.
all over the back of his truck. And we looked it up and it was a cook.
Attaboy.
I was like,
Attaboy, dude. Attaboy.
I can't remember what it was, but it was just a cook. And
92 golf.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it was 92 Golf.
And
Yep.
that's literally what his license plate is. It said 92 and then golf, like spelled out.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it was
Attaboy.
it was a cook.
Dude, I had a sergeant major in Okinawa. This dude would just make up fucking words. He was like this yoked black guy. He was like the
Was
Far
he
East
Puerto Rican?
bodybuilding. You know, he was a black dude. He was the
Okay.
Far East bodybuilding champion. He was a fucking hoss. But he would just make up words. And he would say shit and he'd be like, have a fucking magnanimous day. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm gonna use it. Shit like that. You know, he was just goofy as shit. He wore BCGs all the time. He was a cook. That was it. Like they called him the Iron Chef. He was a fucking giant man. And like he was just like this giant dude. He was so fucking weird, man. Like it was a trip.
The most stacked dude, ribbon wise, in our guard unit was our cook
Yeah.
because he'd been in forever.
Yeah.
I still remember when the first time I went to eat at 3rd Ranger Battalion's Chow Hall, and every cook, line cook, the guys in the back, whatever, they're all in white and, berets and the whole fucking nine. And if they were an E5 or above, they all had Ranger tabs. And it was just like, what the fuck? Like, you're a badass cook.
Combat cooks, dog.
I know.
Shit. Combat cooks. I felt bad for my cooks in Fallujah, man, because like the army was handling the chow hall on the firm base, right? On Camp Fallujah. So like we didn't have a job for them. they ended up being the ASP guys, like handing out ammo and body collection.
Oh,
So every
God.
time we had a KIA,
Oh, that
we had to bring it to
sucks.
them, and our cooks were the guys that fucking took care of them. It was fucked up. They got a raw fucking deal because they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you, dog. You're a cook. Like, you didn't do the same workup that everybody else
Right.
did. You know, you're not ready for this deployment, you know, but
Yeah.
you got to be in there. Like, I felt real fucking bad for him every time. And which unfortunately was quite a bit. We had to bring, you know, medevacs back there and KIAs. And it was just like, fuck, man. Let's see and I remember by the end of that deployment, there was a cook that I was on ship with who was like bubbly and happy and shit. And by the end of that, dude had aged.
Yeah.
Like fucking, it looked like he'd aged 20 years, man. Like he looked like he was in his 40s and this kid was like 25. And it was just like, God damn, man. He had gray hair and shit. Like he fucked up, man.
Yeah.
I felt real bad for that dude. But that's the fucking nature of the life, I guess. Shit. Should have been a grunt. Like, fuck. Something. I don't know. Or pull string go boom. Those guys had it fucking made. They were chilling on the firm base, just
Yeah, I've got
murdering motherfuckers.
I've got another really good friend of mine that was a Marine, and he was a pull string go boom.
He's an arty guy.
And so there'll be other Marines and stuff that'll be around, and they'll start talking. They're like, "Well, so you know when you're on ship?" And he's like, "Nope."
Nope.
He's like,
do any of that.
He's like, "Oh, I thought you were in the Corps." And he's like, "Absolutely was."
Yeah. My gun showed up while I was there.
Yeah, like, and he was like, he's like, "Nope. I have to go somewhere. I get on a plane. It flies me there. I get off, and I go, oh, hey, Betty,' and then I just fucking walk away." And I was like,
What kind of guns are like the ships that you put the Marines on? What are they called? They look like little aircraft carriers.
LHAs, LSDs.
What do they have for armament?
Sea Whizzes and they got all the same fucking shit. So like when you go on a MEU, you go on what's called an ARG. It's usually a 3-ship ARG, and I'm not sure what that stands for. I know it's an acronym, but I just like saying ARG. ARG because it's a ship.
Right.
You know? Anyways,
see, the reason they're flat is that there's a pile of rocks in the middle, and all the Marines just stand on the rail, and they just fucking.
Well, I was thinking, like, why don't you set
Back in
up
the
the
day.
artillery pieces on the ship? Like, there's got to be let's shoot artillery from the ship. That sounds pretty fucking cool.
They think the ships come.
That's
equipped
why I
with those.
asked what the armament was on that ship.
I mean, that would be fucking awesome to see.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie.
that.
If I like walked onto a flat deck and somebody had just like strapped
shooting
down an arty
155.
and was
When's
just
the
fucking
last
firing
fucking-
it from the deck, I'd be like,
fucking
almost got me, Navy. That was that close. That was.
I
you should put that in your
questions.
recruiting station. You should put that in your recruiting fucking poster.
I have questions. Right. So when a 155 shoots his first round, that sets the little shovel looking thing
Yeah.
on the back so it doesn't move
Right.
when it shoots.
Yeah.
If you can't do that,
Hmm.
how many shots do you get before you lose your piece of equipment overboard?
Well, I think
You're like, bam.
Well, that's
Oh,
what-
okay,
that's what
bring
I
out the next gun.
That's why I said you have to strap it down.
Yeah, definitely. That's why they get those tie downs.
That's
man.
why you have a platoon. You just have 2 ropes. You have 10 guys on each rope as a V going out, and then they shoot.
Now you're
Yep.
thinking like a Marine.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that would be some Marine shit.
That's
Yeah.
what it would be.
We don't have D rings. It's fine. First
Yeah.
platoon.
Come up here and hold this shit.
Can I get my gloves? No.
Nope.
Vassalone didn't wear gloves.
You want pussy like John Vassalone?
There you go.
Oh,
There
see?
you go.
HIMARS are fucking dope.
HIMARS
that's-
are fucking dope.
That's different than artillery. Drastically
Yeah.
different than
I
artillery.
mean, that's artillery.
No, those are missiles.
Yeah.
Artillery is it's not self-propelled.
It's literally just a big gun.
The,
Yeah, it
the
is.
Army's partnering with the Navy, especially with artillery pieces, is a new effort altogether though not without warning. Yeah, no shit. Huh.
That is such a weird looking
See,
boat.
look, I'm not the only one who's thought about this. Huh? Motherfuckers?
Tell it to the Marines. Yeah, fucking tell it to the Marines. I don't give a shit. You have fun on ship, boys. Enjoy it. I hope you puke. I don't know what to tell you.
No way. I'd have figured out how to get chapter if they'd ever told me,
Cool.
like, by the way, we're starting to put army units on boats. I'd have been like, fucking, I'm out.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to read through the whole article.
I mean,
just
that's
just
good
saw the rockets
lethality,
getting
though.
fired off a ship. I was like, it's pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
That's, you know what, dude? That's thinking outside the box. You imagine a fucking little fucking ass tiny like amphib ship, sure, they're pretty equipped with good armament, but all of a sudden HIMARS fly off that motherfucker.
Right?
That's gangster.
Well, and if you think about it,
Like, I'm here for it, dude.
Well, even the current shit that's going on, right? So HIMARS
paladins on it.
are
There you go.
are remarkably more accurate than standard artillery. Not that an artilleryman can't dial it in; they can, but they are remarkably
It'd
more
be a
accurate.
little harder on a moving ship.
But
A little faster
To
with the
make
math, sir.
corrections, yeah.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, your FO better be fucking Johnny on the spot.
Because now not only do we have to
walking
figure out
in,
where we're going,
we're
but
moving.
let's see. I'm walking. We're going right. So
The fucking ship's just doing gator squares as tight as it can.
Right 400 yards and yeah.
Yeah.
like you have to now factor in the speed of the boat and the direction it's moving.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some salty fucking chief out there with a coffee cup going like, the Abrams does it, figure it out.
There you go. Let's have a tank battle from the deck of battleships.
No, but my point with that is that like, if you put a HIMARS on the deck and fire it off, it's all guided. So that
Yeah.
means that like as close as we can get these ships to these coastal countries, you could just fucking just cruise by, just be like,
Can you imagine like
Fuck yeah,
just
dude.
the whole deck lined with rows of HIMARS
Right.
ready to fucking
I'm here for
level
it, dude.
grid squares?
But it's the same phenomenon
You
as
want
the
to fucking?
Abrams.
You want
I'm
to?
pretty sure.
I think you just solved Gaza Strip's problem.
Yes.
Now, guys, I'm pretty sure that we have these things called battleships.
Yeah.
And they level grid
Uh,
squares a lot faster.
That's
Actually,
true.
they're destroyers. Battleships were retired, but
Well, fucking
whatever.
Tomato.
Well, I'm just saying.
The new stuff is cool though.
Fucking
The new
yeah.
ships are dope.
Hell yeah.
Old
But yes.
battleships.
Old battleships.
3 of them.
Three hull and 14 tanks.
That's the best.
Who brought the tanks? What year was that battle?
45.
Yeah, it was fucking.
So the new battleships were the Iowa and the big ones, right? That we know of.
Yeah,
So
but those were committed.
the old ones.
Those were busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were
old
busy.
ones. Those are just the wooden ones.
Yeah.
They're firing cannons
The
out
old
the
ones.
side.
It's fucking-
Does that bitch say Ironsides on it? What the fuck?
Is that the Queen Mary? What the fuck is this?
That shit says Blue Star lines on it. This is
Does
some
that thing
horse.
have sails? What the fuck?
That was more Dunkirk, so that was kind of y'all. Like,
No, you can't do that to the Marines. If honest to God pirate ships just showed up to the Marines and they were like, get on, boys, they'd be like,
Let's
Are the flags
go.
black?
Do
Please
I-
tell me the flags are black.
they're going to be. They're going to be. And it's all going to be with boot polish. And it's gonna be like, you don't even wear leather boots. It's like,
It was
old
in- it was in
habits
my
die
packing
hard,
list.
baby. It was on the packing list.
No, we got Tap Gear and they issued us fucking black leather boots again. Like, we couldn't find the new ones. So just use these. It happened in Somalia. That's true. Like, because, so, like Adid's fucking, like, grandson was a Marine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, like, when the Marines came in, like, he gave his fucking militia orders, don't fight the Black Boot Warriors. They're Marines and don't fight them. Because his fucking grandson was there.
Crazy.
Yeah. And like fucking, so like we walked around Mogadishu like, I don't see a fucking problem here, guys. Like, hey, Army, you got it. And then that shit went down. And then we had to come back because they like literally the Mew came back in and was like, what the fuck? We just left. This was fine. What happened? And yeah, that's true. It was because fucking,
What happened? They did a fucking snatch raid in the middle of the day. That's what happened.
Yeah. Well, and then they dropped a couple fucking Blackhawks. Tends to piss people
Because
off.
they did a mission in the middle of the day.
Yeah. Tends to piss some people off though. Enough to where the president's like, all right, turn that Mew around, put him back in, help him out. Like, yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, go read the whole Somalia situation. Like, I'm sure everybody's seen the movie, but like, go read like the whole,
Like how it started and shit.
That 36 hours is not like the whole
No.
battle.
No,
That's
'cause
No, there's way more to it.
a little bit more.
Because we were there for what? Fuck. I'm looking at you. I think you were there. We were there for a while.
Maybe right at a year. I think. A year
I'm
or two.
pretty sure
3.
there's still people there.
I'm talking about like that fight.
Oh,
We were there for quite a bit.
We left quickly after that. They wrapped it up and
Yeah, once they
yeah.
took the chain off, sure. Yeah.
It's amazing how efficient we are when
When we're not stifled.
when you're not asking me where the cover page to my
I don't think it
TPS
was that we
report
were
is.
efficient. I think they just said enough of this bullshit. We're leaving.
yeah. So we haven't really talked about it lately, but this brings me into a great segment of. So when do you think World War III started?
Oh.
I'm going to ask it every week until it either starts or doesn't. Where do you guys think we're at with this?
I don't know, but I'm still on the shit or get off the pot situation with this.
same.
It's like either do it or fucking, or don't. But
It's been 2,000 years. Figure it out.
no, even with us, like if we're gonna get involved, fine. Like I won't even like. You want more?
Oh, that's good.
Okay. I won't even. I'm gonna stay with that. I said my piece about fucking the Ukraine on the last one. Fucking it's just shittier Russia. So fucking I don't think we should help it at all.
So
I agree with that.
But considering that we garnered the fucking deal for, as we discussed, Israel 2.0, I am fully aware that the nation of Israel is way older than fucking 75 years. But we kind of brokered the deal.
We did.
At this point,
And the British.
well, okay. They're using a lot of British jets over there.
Yeah, see, that's my beef, right?
like-
the British are the ones that should be fucking taking the head off.
They're not
this,
going
man.
to. And this is what happens when you're king of the heat, is like we were the ones that were scary enough to broker this level of deal.
Yeah.
The British may have built the table, but we were the ones with a shotgun underneath it.
The
But like,
British,
it's,
the British owned the area, but we were like,
It-
do you
do you
though?
really? Do you remember the last time you had land we wanted?
it's okay, Britain. We won't go
we
there.
don't even talk about it. But
Yeah.
anyway. So, but we were the broker. Like they had the property, we had the friends, and it was like,
No,
we brokered it. Well, when you broker a deal like that, and you've kept them as a very close business partner, when that business partner ends up in straits, it is your responsibility as the broker to step in and go, okay.
Hey, this wasn't the original deal.
Yeah.
Right. So now, if we're going to do it, then let's just fucking do it. Like, the last 20 years taught us one strikingly obvious lesson. And
Yeah.
that's
Don't pussyfoot around.
you are not going to hugs and kisses these people into cooperating. If a culture has decided the expansion of their culture is only through violence, then the only negotiation tactic that you have to negotiate with them is equal to or greater violence.
Greater than violence. Yep.
That's it. It's the only currency in this conversation. And instead, we're trying to figure out like, well, what is the fuck it? I don't give a fuck about the PR fallout. There's only one currency in this fucking deal. And the currency currently is violence. So if we're going to pump fucking currency into the fight, then let's make sure that we're using the proper currency. And that's where I'm at on this shit. So stop with this whole like, well, what if it, fuck it. It's 3 days. 3 days, it's over.
It's over.
I heard a stat this morning on my way in that Iran has attacked U.S. forces recently, has attacked U.S. forces 52 times. And the U.S. has retaliated to those 52 attacks 4 times.
Yeah.
And it wasn't taking out people.
I'll
It
do the
was
math
taking
for you.
out
That is
ammo
roughly-
storage facilities.
That is
empty
roughly
buildings,
7%.
things like that.
Yep.
But I actually, to touch back on Ukraine,
3 years ago, that wouldn't have happened.
right? To touch back on Ukraine, I had a very interesting conversation earlier today that after I had it, I was like, oh, I need to bring this up on the show. You guys got your tinfoil hats on?
No, I can't wait. Fucking
Because
here
it's about
for it.
Russia,
Why do you think I always wear a hat?
right? It's about Russia, right?
It's tinfoil. land.
So leading up to Russia invading Ukraine in the past, whatever, year and a half, 2 years, we collectively as the United States and the United States military, and I'm speaking blindly on their behalf, semi-feared Russia in a military sense. It was kind of one of those like, well, Intel says this and Intel says that. And you talk to guys in the military and they're like, I'll go to war with anybody, but I don't really want to go to war with Russia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That'd be like fighting ourselves. Like they're very capable and they have, high-tech equipment and they have all this, armament and blah, blah, blah. Like before Ukraine.
Well,
Before Ukraine.
okay, I'm gonna let you.
yeah, that was the thing.
I
before.
totally
That was a well. You had
stop.
a
I want to
specific
let him finish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
argue this. Though.
No,
I'm
but,
going- yeah.
but that's not the point to argue.
Yeah.
Right.
I hear
Because
what you're saying.
that's just like
Yeah.
That was the rumor mill.
it was.
That was like,
It's
dude,
the closest thing to that was just the Zeitgeist.
Propaganda.
It was the Zeitgeist. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
ever since the fucking early 80s. It was Russians the big baddie, and it was everywhere. And the problem is that it was all that propaganda in the 80s,
Yeah.
that the generals now that think that it's scary, this is what they grew up on, that Russia's the big baddie.
Yeah.
And we never got rid of that fear that Russia was the big baddie. And then as a population, we did nothing but pump out movies and more propaganda.
Right.
And they're always the bad guy. They're
Yeah.
always the spies.
Yep.
They're the ones with the chemical sleeper cell shit that the right keyword turns them on and they fucking,
Yep.
they do all the shit in America. It's always fucking Russia.
It is.
Anyways, go ahead.
So Russia invades Ukraine. We see the last year and a half, 2 years play out. Collectively, the United States is like, oh, like
Can you imagine?
I didn't think that was going to be that easy. So
Yeah.
here's my conspiracy theory. Do you think Russia is slow playing the world in Ukraine right now, waiting for other powers to get involved? And then they're like, just kidding. And they fuck everybody up.
The only way they can do that is nuclear.
I'd respect it.
I'm just saying, though, like, what a fucking troll.
But can you imagine how long it would take the U.S. to take over Ukraine if we had the same ROE as Russians did?
A fucking day and a half.
A day and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
I was
Like-
going to
It's
say,
like we just bomb everything and kill everybody and
So
fucking now it's ours.
it's
Wait a
cool-
minute. Are we giving it a day? Okay,
It's-
I'll give you day and a half, but I'm assuming that with day and a half, we're taking the breaks because they actually brought in hot A's.
Yes.
No. I'm going.
We got
if-
hot west.
let-
Yeah.
I'm going. We start right now. It's 5:45. By the time they serve breakfast, we're good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to physically drive however many miles.
no, you
Like,
don't. We don't physically drive fucking anywhere.
It'll be a sea and air war.
We bring roads.
That's
But no,
gotta be
if the gloves got taken off, we
Yeah.
would bomb the ever living fuck, and then we'd send in like 60 dudes and be like, "Okay, go walk through and let me know if anybody's alive."
all you need a meal. You need one meal. Like, and it's over in fucking a day and a half.
You could literally just call Campbell or Bragg or whatever the
Either-
fuck they're called now,
Either or. Yeah.
and just go like, "Hey, put some dudes on a bus. We gotta."
We're gonna go up to Alaska first, and then
Yeah.
they're gonna bust them across the Bering Strait, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, people just don't grasp
No,
it.
but
They
you- but you-
don't get it. I'm like, you know, we send people to war on American Airlines. Like, that's how casual we are about how efficient our killing model is.
The funny part
It
is,
was
like,
like-
we had all of our weaponry,
Like, tucked
Like-
between the cushions.
Yeah.
It was like,
and it was just
Pedals
like,
on the floor.
I
You
have a-
must remove your bulk carriers and make sure your muzzles are pointed outward.
it's
I
like,
have-
you guys know we don't have ammo, right?
I have a
Just
picture
saying.
somewhere from the front of the bird, and it on like a disposable, and so it's a print copy picture. So fuck all knows where this thing is, and it's looking down the center walkway of an American Airlines flight, and it's just dudes, and between every seat is just a black stick like this, and it's just barrels like all the way back, and the big joke is because why we all went whatever, but we're on this and we're like, anybody got a box cutter? Like, you know, it's just-
I had a pocket knife.
Excuse me, sir. Your machine gun's blocking the aisle for the carts.
yeah.
Like, you know, with that amount of armament,
That happened to me.
that
Sir,
amount
can you
of
move that, please?
weaponry on an airplane, and it didn't get taken over. It's fucking weird.
What?
Fucking
That's crazy.
weird.
That's why you need a box cutter.
Or a
I-
shoe bomb.
I bet they had like 17 air marshals on that flight, though.
Like, I'm pretty sure.
We don't know for
I'm pretty sure every one of those air marshals was like, I ain't doing a fucking thing.
Ours
Like,
wasn't. It was like the flight crew.
Yeah. I had like 2
Yeah.
stewardesses and a pilot.
It was
Yeah.
the flight crew.
Like,
They definitely ran skeleton crews. We didn't get full service.
It was flight crew,
Oh,
and
we
then
definitely not.
essentially you had
They
to
had
hold.
fun with it, though.
But you also
Yeah,
had to
they
hold. You had to have. We had a fire watch at the
those flights back were
the
fun.
pilot door or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you had to
Oh,
hold a fire watch.
Oh, we
there.
didn't have that.
No, we didn't do
The
shit.
flights back.
Well, it was.
were fun.
We did. In all fairness,
We were-
there was a reason, and it was because of bad command line, and it was like,
We were
Well-
bartering Ambien for snacks.
yeah, but it was that command line shit, and it was like, well, you know, we haven't vetted the people in the. And as we're getting this speech, I'm like, you don't think we know? These guys are pilots. Like, I was like, worse, one of them's drunk. Like, that's the worst we're dealing with.
That's
right
the
now.
worst.
And I'm like, you don't
It's
think
not
they
even that
somewhat
bad.
did a background check before they stuck a whole bunch of soldiers on this plane? It was like, hey, fly them to a war zone. Like, you don't think they
Yeah, not only that, you're flying into like a semi-hostile
I'm like,
country.
what are they gonna do? Like, we're gonna fire what? We don't. They could come and try and take one of your weapons.
And do what with
And
it?
do what with it? Fight the other 140 dudes
I'll
on
tell
the
you what,
plane?
if he gets that weapon away from that soldier,
And none of
Let
us
him
had
keep it
ammo.
on him.
Yeah.
None of
You
us
know
had
what?
ammo.
That dude's life is about to be a living hell.
Teach that soldier how to fly. Pilot, sit down. We're fucking.
Yeah. Oh, you want to trade? Cool. You're in our fire team now.
Yeah.
Some dude's like, "Where's the TM? I'll read it. I'll learn this shit. I got
Yeah.
that. I need a TM."
I saw Air Force One. I'd fucking hold this, crank that shit forward.
Taking off's easy, and every landing is a crash. So,
I had Flight Simulator 95. Okay.
Attaboy.
I could for sure get a bird off the ground.
do you have a keyboard and a mouse? Because outside of that, I don't know how to
Yeah.
wham this
Wouldn't that be a trip though if you went in there and they just had like some USB ports? You'd just be like, WASD,
Oh,
bitch.
now I remember.
F3. F3's the left flat.
Dude, I was talking to the guy. He's one of the dudes at Warfighter Scuba, and he was a fucking A-10 pilot.
Okay.
And he was telling me that he did this training mission. But before they did it, he outfitted the A-10s with air-to-air missiles, and fucking like called up Duluth and was like, the F-15 guys.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You guys want to do some air-to-air?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll beat your ass, whatever."
Yeah.
You know, because normally 100%.
Yeah.
Because A-10s are so fucking slow,
Yeah.
it fucks up the fucking F-15's targeting.
Yeah.
And they weren't prepared for air-to-air contact with like missiles. And next thing you know, it's like Fox 2 kill, Fox 2 kill. And they smoked them on these A-10s. And they're like, what the fuck? They're like, oh yeah, we got heaters, boys. He told me the story. I was like, that's a great fucking story, man. I was like, that's cool as shit. You can just do that? You can just fucking add missiles to a fucking A-10?
You know what?
Why not?
I wonder if there's ever been an A-10 and a helicopter fight.
Ooh. I think the helicopter might take it.
No way.
I don't know, dude.
No way.
No, actually, because he told me there was a
All you have to do is get above a helicopter.
well, it happened. It happened. I guess there was a friendly issue back in the day where that happened.
I'm talking about like a fucking
Apache.
Like a training thing.
no, but fucking what's the bad guy Apache? The Hind.
No, the
like
Hind?
a Hind and
Oh.
an A-10 or some shit.
But I think an A-10 could win.
Yeah, I think so too.
What's the
But it would be
bad
cool to
guy
watch.
Apache?
The bad guy, that's what it is.
I remember when we were in JRTC, that was the first time I
Yeah.
seen a hind
Yeah.
like in action.
Yeah.
And we're walking through this middle of this fucking field.
Fucking loud, isn't it?
And we hear it, right? And everyone's like,
rattling.
red air. And everyone's like running. And I'm just like looking at people and I'm like, you fucking idiots. And I just stood there and I'm like, just looking and
Yeah.
watching this thing fly. Because they're cool as shit when they're flying.
Yeah, they're
And
awesome.
I just watch it fly over and the fucking owner was like, you're dead. And everyone's like, well, how come you didn't fucking take cover? And I'm like, it's a goddamn helicopter. What's a fucking bush gonna do?
They have rockets in 30
Yeah.
millimeters. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Talking to that guy though, he was like, I was like, so what's it like just flying a gun? That's all you are.
Yeah.
You're flying because they were
They
like,
built it around that gun.
they were just like, here's a gun, make it fly. Like let's do that. Like he's like, the first time was weird because he was an F-15 fighter before he became an A-10 pilot, right?
They also make a nice dishwasher.
Hey,
G.
GE.
General Electric. And but he's like the first time's weird. He's like, I didn't know what was happening the first time the gun went off because the fucking barrels are like right under your fucking feet, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, and the whole fucking airplane fucking like yerks to the side and is like, like he's
Why
like,
do you think their washing machines have such a
Dude.
great spin cycle?
They use the same motor.
It's the same motor.
powered by Bushmaster? Fucking wild,
I can
dude.
shoot 4,000 rounds a second, or we can clean your dishes like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dishes are done.
See, the
bitch.
marketing opportunity missed.
I don't think General Electric makes that gun.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
GE absolutely makes
They
the
make
weapon.
What is
It's-
it, the GAU
They
8?
make the
They
GAU 8
make-
is made by GE.
Okay, I know they make the minigun.
It's absolutely made by GE.
Yeah. It's what, 30 millimeter?
It's fuck
Yeah.
you millimeters.
The
25.
General Electric GAU 8A Avenger.
Yeah. Is it 30 or 25?
30.
Yeah.
Fuck you caliber.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, that's a fuck you, Cal. That's what the EFV had. It was awesome. Look at that thing.
Look at
General Dynamics is not General Electric.
Yeah, General Electric
Oh.
makes dishwashers.
Oh, produced by General Electric. through General Dynamics. Okay, I didn't know there was a connection.
That's their War Department.
Yeah.
I love that. We still
You
use
can't
this.
call a dishwasher dynamic.
GDs who fucking made the EFV. Same shit, man.
So General Electric.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
Shit's fucking gnarly.
So if
The
you want to know,
designer
if
was
you want to know
General
when you
Electric.
go, yeah, absolutely. I've read that whole thing.
That is, yeah.
So if you want to know why when you go to your grandmother's house and she still has that fucking General Electric refrigerator from 1958,
Fuckers don't die, bro.
that's
Fuckers
why.
don't die, dude. Yeah.
Oh, see, okay. Was okay.
In 1997, the division was sold by Lockheed Martin
Oh.
to GD.
The weapon system, regardless of who owns
Yeah,
the division now, the weapon system was designed by General Electric.
Yeah.
They had nothing to do with the aircraft. They just built the gun.
No, they
I
built
love
the
it.
gun and they were like, make it fly.
It's a
Like, I just love, like, look at the back of it. It's just that huge fucking,
called a magazine.
You mean the giant drum?
yeah. So
Like you'd
it's-
find an additional.
like I love that. Like I
I think
hunt.
so.
I hunt with a 6.5 millimeter round.
Yeah.
And this is a 30 millimeter round. It is 30 by 173.
They're that long.
Yeah.
And
That's-
that big around.
Yep.
That's 30 millimeters.
Yeah, it's 30 by 173.
Yeah.
It's 7 barrels with a progressive right-hand parabolic twist with 24 grooves.
Couldn't go 25. 24 is the perfect number.
Well, it's funny. A regular rifle has like 4 to 6.
Yeah. So that you
Yeah, I
can,
know, right?
so that you can put down fucking
3,900
Satan's
rounds
tail
per
on the
minute.
fucking-
There was a running bet in the EFV program that nobody could get a picture of a dummy round 30 millimeter because we all had dummies. Like I had like a belt of like, I don't know, 7 or 8 of them. Right. I ended up giving them to a buddy of mine, but I was like, we had this running bet that nobody could get a picture of one in a chick's asshole. We were like, if you get that, you win. And I don't remember what the prize was, but it was like an
Doesn't matter.
ongoing, right? It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. They're like, we need a picture of this in a chick's asshole.
Doesn't matter.
I would have fucked you guys up with that
You know,
live round. In the chick's
How much
ass.
do you think a Gao 8 weighs? How much do you think that weapon system
Oh,
weighs?
all
Just
of
the
it.
gun.
Just the gun?
Yeah.
7,000 pounds.
3.2 tons.
620 pounds.
That weapon weighs
The-
less than my motorcycle.
There's no way.
The Gao 8 itself weighs 620 pounds, but the
Oh.
complete weapon with feed system
Okay.
and drum
Oh,
weighs 4,029 pounds.
Okay.
With a maximum
It's a little-
maximum ammunition load
a little over 2 tons.
Oh, that's still way
with
lighter.
ammo.
well, okay.
It's 4,000.
that's
Let me
still lighter
let
than
me
I
fix
thought,
what you just
dude.
said
Yeah.
with your trivia question. How much does my rifle weigh?
Well, this is probably 3 pounds.
No. That's my rifle. How much does it weigh?
right.
No, that's a good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like your
It's
analogy.
like, oh, now if I put the rest of the shit on it,
No,
that actually makes it work.
The only thing you don't have added is the feed system and the magazine.
Go back to that picture, Justin.
What is currently missing from this? The feed system and the magazine.
Very
the
true.
feed system was the size of the Volkswagen.
Look at that thing.
I'm just reading what it says.
But
here.
it's hard for me to believe that those barrels with just the motor can weigh 600 pounds.
Do you know how much that magazine?
Hey, hold on. That says I can buy a Gao 8 Avenger 30 millimeter for $2,000.
Fucking
What?
sign me up, dog.
Can I get 2? I owe Scott a gift.
Do you know how many rounds that magazine holds? That drum is the magazine.
The drum holds, I want to say 2,500 rounds.
I would.
It can maximum.
It's like 7K.
The max it can hold is 1,174.
Okay.
Although 1,150 is a typical loadout.
Justin, what is it?
yeah,
How
but
heavy
wait,
is the
cycle
30
rate is
millimeter round?
nuts, though.
Yeah,
Well,
3,900 rounds.
that's why they
a
make a
minute.
lot of trips.
Half a pound for the round.
Yeah.
Well, that's why empty.
Yeah.
It's light. If it's a half pound and they hold, 1,100 rounds.
Arnold could shoot it from the hip.
So the dude I was talking to was one of those guys. He was fighting because he fucking flew A-10s in the Gulf War. So one of the 7,839 or 783,514 rounds of 30 millimeter.
So I
Holy fuck.
also hunt with a 143 grain projectile. This is different though.
It's measured in pounds.
No, it's 143 grains.
Yeah.
It's not grams, right?
It's different.
Right.
It's grains.
What's the conversion? grain
So
stuff.
the projectile of this is 6,096 grains.
Wow.
You.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that thing will. All I know, I only know what it sounds like from the ground, and it's awesome.
That is one spicy.
I'll bet you it
washing
sounds
machine.
cooler from the ground than it sounds from there. Right?
Guarantee you it does.
Oh yeah, but I wish
Well, what's
I
always cool is like because you hear it 3 times, right? Because you hear the impact of the round, and then you hear that shit,
Yep.
Yeah.
and then you hear the echo. So it's like, bah, bah, bah. It's like, it's like that's fucking awesome.
It's funny. I always got the sounds confused because I was in the ground.
You
So
always-
I heard the impact sound, which was a loud sound.
Yeah,
And then you hear the quiet sound and you're like, it confuses you. You're like, oh, what the? Well, that's cool. So an A10 sounds like this.
yeah, it's very distinctive, man.
Mhm.
It is very, very distinctive.
where you watch it slow down mid-flight.
Mhm.
It's fucking
It
shit.
looks like they pause in the air.
Yeah.
A puff of smoke.
It's just fucking. Like, it's like it's you know if you build your
So-
AR in space.
The cartridge itself weighs 1.5 pounds each.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so
Yep.
just the round.
Yep.
For the bullet,
11.4 inches in length and
Is
weighs
half a pound.
1.53 pounds.
but the round
they're
is
like
a
a foot
pound and a
long, dude.
half.
They're fucking. They're legit.
The projectile and a high explosive incendiary projectile weighs 13.3 ounces. A pound is 16 ounces.
Yeah.
That is almost a pound of shit about to blow up coming at
Yeah.
you at fucking 3,300 feet per second.
Yeah, it's a bad
God
motherfucker,
damn.
dude.
Followed about 6 inches from the next one.
I
About
know.
to fuck you up.
Like you know the dudes at GE, they were like, you guys got to make this. Or like, call Earl. Earl's our guy.
He's
And
got
Earl's
one in
like-
his garage.
Earl's like, my time to shine. I've been wanting to build one of these fuckers for a minute.
Oh, he already had one built, but
He
now
already
he gets
had
to
it.
use the good machines to build it.
I feel like Earl, this is what we were
I've been hiding
thinking.
this. I'm glad I
So
could.
what Earl did is he took a bunch of 12 gauge shotguns and figured out how to run 30 millimeter through it.
Yeah. Just stretched
I
it out,
walked
man.
into Earl's office and they're like, this is what we were thinking. And he just went, he just pulled a sheet.
This?
That one?
You mean,
Holy shit,
was
Earl.
this your card?
Why does it have a spin cycle?
But if y'all don't like it, I can make it better.
Can you make it fly?
What
Whoa.
what came first, the Gao 8 or the minigun? Because I bet the Gao 8 was a scaled up version of the minigun.
Yeah.
I'd assume
His
so.
miniguns have been around forever.
Yeah, probably since 6.
Well, you got to think the minigun is
50s
loosely
probably.
based off of a Gatling gun,
And the Gatling gun was,
but it's just an electric motor instead of a crank.
yeah.
very
loosely.
very loosely.
One is way more fucking stylish to shoot.
But a Gatling gun's been around since 1800s.
Yeah.
62. The minigun was produced. So when did the Gao 8 come out? I bet it was probably in the mid
77.
70s.
77?
Oh, okay.
Is that what it said? Yeah.
Right, it was 77. It said it was developed by them in 1977.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's dope.
Because there was an in between one too that they put on the the Avenger. What's on the Avenger?
The medium gun.
I think because they have a
20 millimeter.
a Gatling gun, or not a what do they call it? It's a 20 millimeter.
It's not many.
It's not a gallon.
Oh,
There's a name for it.
a
Look up,
chain gun.
no, that's a single barrel.
That's a single barrel. That's what the
It's
what
the
the
LG.
LG. That's
What-
like what the LAV.
Maybe it's
and the Apache
Starbucks
has
style.
and stuff.
Grande.
What
Look
are
up
those
Grande
3
gun.
barrel ones?
No,
That's large in 3 languages. Congratulations, you're stupid at all 3.
I didn't think Starbucks got into weaponry.
Yeah, it is. The Grande gun.
look up an Avenger. Right, that's what it's called.
That's the Gao 8.
No, but the M1, the fucking M113 that had the gun on it. It was anti-air.
LAV 25s had there was an LAV that had the same thing.
I think it's look up Avenger, or is that the fucking
Avenger's the
missile one?
yeah, those are Stingers.
Okay, what's it? What Carter used to work on? What Carter was on when he was in the military? What was before the Avenger? Fuck.
Look up the LAV.
Not Avenger gun.
Look-
An Avenger's a tank. Look up. Yeah.
Avenger Humvee.
No, this was the 113 though.
The Vulcan.
That's
The
what-
Vulcan came out in 1959.
Yeah.
It's a 20 millimeter. And and it's a 6-barrel,
This one's 7.
which is funny. Hold on.
So Starbucks did get involved
No.
because it's got an extra shot.
The minigun came out in 62. This came out in 59.
Okay, so who made the Vulcan?
It's going to be hilarious if you say GE.
GE. General Electric designed in 1946.
That was Earl's baby.
That was
That was the one from Earl's garage.
So they went small. They're like made this
It was
thing.
an M61. M61A1 weighed 248 pounds. M61A2 weighed 202 pounds.
So they made this thing, and then they said, "Oh, we need to make this smaller so we can put it on helicopters,
and then went
and then
fuck
bigger so
And
we
then-
can
and
put it
then-
on fixed wing."
Then Earl's kid came around and said, "Hold my beer."
My granddaddy showed me these back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of this
He just
one.
kicked in the door at GE and was like, "Heard you boys were looking for a new system."
I'm Earl the third. Let's get weird.
it had to be pretty easy to design. You just like scale up everything 3 times.
I love
That's what Earl 2.0 did. He
I know.
actually he pulled the plumbing out of his walls. It was just
Let's just
I was going to hawk this at the junkyard.
let's just move the decimal point over in all these dimensions.
But they
Yeah.
changed a lot to it. It's a 6-barrel progressive right-hand parabolic twist, but only 9 grooves.
Do you know why there was a Volkswagen in that picture of the Gow 8? That's what Earl towed it there on.
That's actually out of Earl's garage.
The action description is my favorite, though. It is the action is described as a hydraulically operated, electrically fired rotary cannon.
That's gangster as fuck, dude. Yeah.
6,000 rounds a minute. Muzzle velocity 3,450 feet per second. Effective firing range is about 2,000 feet.
Wait a minute. Does it have barrel specs on it?
What it like?
Like, does it talk about its twist or
Yeah.
rifling?
I just
or
did. It's a
anything?
6-barrel progressive right-hand parabolic
Okay.
twist and 9 grooves.
Huh.
That's a 25 millimeter.
That's the 20 millimeter Vulcan.
Oh.
20 by 102.
That'll get your attention.
Yeah.
The 20 millimeter is 0.787 inches. So just a little bit over a 3/4 inch projectile getting yeeted at you at almost 3,500 feet per second.
It's a bad little fucker, man.
It's so angry.
It's like bee stings
So who makes the
that are on
Sea-Wiz?
fire.
The Vulcan was first used in aerial combat on
does
4
make the
April 1965.
Because the Sea-Wiz is what caliber? I don't even know.
30.
Is it the miniguns?
I think so.
I think it's bigger. I think it's 50 cal.
No, I think it's a 30 millimeter, I believe. Flarenex. The Flarenex Sea-Wiz. Raytheon.
The General Dynamics Corporation,
Yeah,
Pomona,
GD.
later part of Raytheon.
GD started.
The caliber of a Sea-Wiz is 20 millimeter by 102.
20 millimeter. That's what it is. I can remember if it's 20 or 30. I just know it's loud. It's louder than fuck. And it just
this
sounds
is-
like it's yelling at you. That's all it
So
sounds like. Yes.
What I just read was talking about the first use of the Vulcan cannon on that 4 October 1965 engagement against North Vietnamese Air Force MiG-17s. North Vietnamese MiG-17s attacked a force of 10 North American F-100 Super Sabres that were escorting Vulcan-armed bomb-laden F-105 Thunder Chiefs. The MiG leader and only survivor of the 4 MiGs, that pursued them, said that the F-105s had shot down 3 of his aircraft, killing all the people on board. However, no other U.S. pilot reported destroying any MiGs. So one aircraft equipped with these Vulcan cannons smoked 3 MiGs. And the other dude was like fucking them out.
I like
They better give that guy his ace, man.
that is
It was one burst too. It was awesome.
He smoked all of us in 30 seconds, and I shit my pants. All right, he's an ace.
I just realized how brilliant the Vulcan name is for that thing, based on its cycle rate and stuff. Do you know what Vulcan is?
This is so.
Like
this is amazing.
the exoplanet.
Like
that they thought?
where the name comes from.
No.
Vulcan. So Vulcan is actually he's the god of fire and metalworking, and they put that thing.
Well, then let me finish this part of the story because it makes perfect sense.
That's a great fucking
The
name.
first confirmed Vulcan kill occurred on 29 June 1966 when Major Fred Tracy, flying his F-105 Thunder Chief, fired 200 rounds of a 20 millimeter of his 20 millimeter into a MiG-17 that had just fired a 23 millimeter shell, which entered one side of his cockpit and exited the other.
Wow.
Imagine just sitting there flying and all of a sudden his 23 millimeters like.
So he got it through and through, and he was like,
He's like, fuck you, bitch.
And just fucking 120 rounds.
Pull up that aircraft. What is it?
The F-105 Thunder Chief.
So here's a cool factoid while Justin's pulling this up. How much does a C-RAM round cost? $27 a round. So that's a
God.
27 millimeter, right? On a typical 300 round engagement at $27 a round, it's $8,100 per engagement.
So that's the 105.
The thud.
So where on this is a 20 millimeter
Here,
cannon?
I'll show you.
I
Was that it underneath?
dubbed the thud. That is, click that diorama. There you go. It's in the nose.
I'll be damned. So it must be taking up the whole underneath the cockpit.
M61A1, 20 millimeter. Yeah.
That means the barrel of that thing is between your legs.
Came
so
in
you
handy
come
in
every
dog
time
fights
you
with
fire that thing.
M17 or MiG-17s.
And it's got bombs.
The thud.
Like I'm kind of
That's
an aircraft guy, and I've never heard of this one before.
Would you fly in the Air Force? The thud. Holy fuck.
It's like,
Such
damn,
a
bro, how
good-
many MiG-17s you shoot down?
All
That
of them?
motherfucker, you run into that dude at a bar and he just looks at it and he goes, 3. And you're like,
I fucking know you. Like, bro, your tab's on me.
Yeah. If I ever meet a thud pilot, I'm buying him a drink. That's dope.
Thunder Chief. We just don't name shit.
They
Like
couldn't
we
name
know,
this
right?
today. In
Man.
today's, if they tried to create this aircraft and name that today,
Okay,
Oh,
Apache,
Jesus.
Comanche, Blackhawk.
No, we do. All of the rotor wing stuff is all named after.
I know, but I'm
nature,
surprised
we
they
can't-
still get away with
But
it.
we can't make up names like Thunder Chief.
That's
Like,
because-
that's what.
Like, I don't know an Apache descendant alive that's not really proud
Yeah.
that the baddest fucking rotary thing on the planet is named after his fucking
but that's
tribe.
the reason is that we do things.
that's why this one was a Thunder Chief. They're like, hey, it's not going to last long.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
just.
and that's
See,
By
why
the time they get upset about it, it'll be decommissioned.
Isn't
because
that like an
everything we named
AC/DC
is
lyric,
badass.
right?
Yeah, that's gangster, man. Anyways, Justin, where we at on time?
Fuck, like 2 hours.
We're about an hour and 40 minutes, boys.
Yeah, I think it's time to wrap this one, boys.
Yeah.
Boys, real quick. I had a story that I found.
Kevin Bacon.
So Adam Driver's got a new movie coming out. He's doing a Q&A. And someone asked him, what do you think about the crash scenes? They looked pretty harsh and drastic, and I must say cheesy for me. What do you think? And he simply replied, fuck you? I don't know. Next question. Just happy Veterans Day to Adam Driver for being a fucking G.
Yeah, so he's in the new Enzo Ferrari movie.
Oh, that puts a little more context
Yeah,
to
so-
this.
So they're finally doing the story of Enzo Ferrari, and he's the star in it. So but yeah, he's
Oh, they said
he's still a
cheesy.
Marine.
You know, like,
Well, yeah, dude. Hey, you know that thing you just worked really hard on? A little cheesy.
so
Fuck you.
here's my take on anything that has to do with like F1 Ferrari in like the OG days. And their development leading up to where they're at now and all their racing and everything.
Yeah,
like
you want to
that.
know what a crotch is so big on a fire suit?
It's for
It's
the balls of
these
the people that are trying.
motherfuckers.
Right,
No,
but-
it's like
But they're like when I haven't seen this, so I don't know how bad the crash scenes are, whether they're accurate or the CGI looks like shit or whatever. But the actual crashes in the early
they killed
F1
everybody.
were some of the most vicious things I've
Yeah.
ever seen in my entire life.
There was an
And there was
interview
no
done-
safety protocol.
No.
Like they'd hit something and this car would just grenade and then you'd
Yeah.
see some dude cartwheeling 50 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're wild.
They
dude.
did an interview with a guy in the research for this film, actually, and he was part of the team at Ferrari that was standing this up and early F1 and stuff like that. And they were like, our roster of drivers was insanely long because we were killing people so much that you couldn't get attached. Then it was just like, well, fuck.
Okay, who's next?
Next car, next driver. And it
That's
was just
wild,
fucking
dude.
throwing them out there. And so it wasn't really until like the 80s that they really got cut up.
Well, there was
It was
no-
after the crash with Niki Lauda when he couldn't get out of it.
Yeah.
And so he burned up inside of his car, lived. recovered and then went back and raced and still won the F1 championship.
But like the crash test
fucking-
ratings
Fucking legend.
that they do now on like modern vehicles, they didn't have a setup like that to test
No.
crashes.
Well, have you seen the brand
So-
new F1s with the new halos and
Yeah.
everything? They're like in this capsule. And like if it just
disintegrates, that capsule's
these guys will
intact.
go into a wall at 200 miles an hour and you just hear him on the radio going like, "You good?" He's like, "Yep, I'm fine, disconnecting the steering wheel." And they're like, and I'm like, holy
and they're so calm when they're
Yeah.
talking.
Dude.
It's like they need like an onboard, like a drone that feeds into the like cockpit. And so are you okay? Look at the screen. And they look and they're like, shit, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
good,
that's
man.
bad.
Wow.
These ones now, they have the new helmets. There's a camera inside the visor.
Okay.
So the view you get is literally the eye line of the
Nice.
driver. So you're watching it, but you're seeing it literally through their visor.
Yeah.
So you're seeing it with the distortion of the visor and anything that's on the visor and like what they can see, light flare, like you're seeing all of it. Like one of the weird things, the only thing they can see of their car is the very top of the two front tires. It's the only part of their car they can see in the cockpit. But they'll show that footage when they like make contact or go into a wall and all this kind of shit. And you're just like, how are you alive?
Right.
Like you should be a smushed grape. Like this is
Have you seen the fucking like the fucking egg they put them in?
that
Like,
capsule that
yeah,
they're in
it's
now.
fucking
It's
pretty crazy.
nuts. But
that's the only way to keep them alive. Like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
well, that's why you have these guys that are like they're in their 14th year of F1 and
Yeah.
they've crashed like they did a stat the other day that I was watching and it was some of the older drivers and they were counting up value of cars crashed.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's cool. I don't even want to know that
So
number.
if
Fuck that.
you total one of those cars, you just spent $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day.
And it doesn't take much.
Now it's different.
It doesn't take much to total one of those
No, 'cause,
cars.
like,
But like the nose on them, just that nose that gets damaged, and you'll watch them swap it in like 2 minutes. They just unpin it and replace it. It's like $200,000. Like every time they swap one of those
Because
noses,
you got a MotoGP motorcycle.
it's a $100,000 motorcycle.
No. That engine is $1.5 million. That
Yeah.
motorcycle complete is over $3 million.
Yeah, they don't lose
That's
the engines,
insane.
but it's just the bodywork is like $1.5 million
But
to
the
replace an F1
suspension,
car.
the
Yeah.
wheels, I mean, every piece
So
of
they were
part
doing
on
it,
that thing
and some of
is
the
worth
older
so much.
drivers were like, on top of what they've been paid and some of these older drivers had done something like $40 million in automotive damage and shit like that. It was just like, oh my god!
And they're still on the roster.
Yeah, because they still win.
Yeah.
Like it's and
If
so
they don't crash.
well,
but
who's your guy that's like won fucking shattered every record and won everything?
Max Verstappen.
This kid? Yeah. Like, how old is that guy?
Now or
I think he just turned 29.
yeah.
So he's a baby.
No, they start him at like they
He's
start him
old.
at 18 now.
Oh, really?
They start
They start
in-
grooming them in like F4 when they're like 12.
Yeah.
Groomers.
No.
And no, I'm not. So look
They
at this.
start with like go-karts and shit and work their way up.
So I looked
This
up,
is just 2021. Mick Schumacher crashed 4.2 million euro worth of cars for Haas.
Holy fuck.
so
That's just 2021.
Max
There's Max
Verstappen,
at third.
3.8.
Yeah.
I looked
Like
up
even in crashes, he's almost winning. They're like this motherfucker can't lose.
I looked up how much it costs to run a
This
top
motherfucker
fuel
don't miss.
dragster for a year. And the first thing that came up was top fuel costs between $8,000 to $10,000 per pass.
It probably just fuel maintenance.
Yeah. So, well, F1's interesting now because they put each team now has a spend cap. They have a max per year that they're allowed to spend on the team,
Oh, really?
which introduced a new rule. And now there's a tire cap on the race. So you only get like 3 sets of tires for the race.
that changes the game.
And you get a soft, medium, and hard set. So it's all about strategy on
Yeah.
when you're going to use what tire set, how many times you're going to pit.
yeah.
And then there's races that have they have pit stop minimum. So when you enter the pit, there'll be a long pit and you can't brake like 15 miles an hour. So it may only take 2 seconds to change the tires, but you're in the pit for 22 seconds.
Right.
And so I'm like 22 seconds in an F1
That
race
is a long
That's an
time.
eternity.
that's
bro.
a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's literally a mile.
But if
So-
everybody has to do it, it comes down to
At some
strategy.
point.
But then
they
it
all
comes
have
down to strategy. So
Yeah.
you watch some of these races like Singapore, and they were like, everybody's going to try and do this in a 1 pit race. Like they're going to try and do 54 laps with 1 pit. And so it was all about what tires do you start on, and then what tires do you finish on. So it was all a gamble based on qual. And when, by the way, your qual tires, you can use those, but you have to run them used.
Oh.
which means that you went out and you ran the dog shit out of these tires to get the best
pole
qual time
position.
you can to
Yep.
try and pull pole. And now you can use them, but you already thrashed them. So
I like it.
yeah, it's been a really, really, I don't want to, they don't give a
But
fuck about
you gotta
F1,
think, like,
but I don't want to gush about
That's
F1.
pretty interesting though.
Top fuel
Like, that's-
dragsters.
It's a great sport. I really, really like it.
I think that's interesting though, like how they're introducing more strategy into
Yeah, and so
the race. I think that's cool.
What it's done is that there was an argument that, well, now it's so much on the engineers and the pit crew and da 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 da. I'm like, none of that shit matters now without the driver feel. So everything comes down to the driver going like, no, I've got another 3 laps on these. Like so all of it's now driver feel on. We're gonna push and push and push and push and push.
So if you got a stubborn ass driver though, if he pushes it too far, he's gonna
Max
fuck it
won
up.
his last fucking race the whole time complaining that his brakes weren't working, and he still won.
You
And
don't
you
just
could
race in
watch
a race.
But you could watch him drive, and it literally he could not brake.
He's
Like, his-
downshift more.
apparently, the entire front brake system went out, so he only had rear brake
Oh, that's
wow.
fun.
and all this stuff. And he still won by like I think it was like 24 seconds or some shit. It was stupid. It was.
It would have been a minute if he had front brakes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just wild. But no brakes actually adds to his driving. Anyways, you're gonna
But
get me down. I'm gonna end up talking like a Marine here.
Top,
We're gonna
top fuel dragsters, right? It's probably the only application in the world where you get a quarter mile out of each engine rebuild.
Yeah. You know, like
I
way
love
back,
watching those teardowns too. For
And
like,
they're so
oh,
fast.
it's amazing.
They have it down. It's a science.
Oh God.
My favorite part is when they go to pull the heads, and it's like 4 people that
Yeah.
have to grab that thing to
Right.
pull that thing off the engine. You're just like, mother Jesus, like
Huge.
It's just so funny. Like your head bolts.
gone.
You used head bolts for a quarter mile.
Yeah.
And then you know, like all this shit.
$80 a piece bolts.
Yeah. Well, they're probably more
Oh,
than
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
These things are probably hundreds of
Yeah.
piece.
Well, those gaskets alone, they get custom cut for
Yep.
those headers, like
Yep.
because they're all copper stamps. Like they're also that means that not only are you paying per gasket stamp that's going in, you had to pay to get the die made to
make
stamp
just
those
that
fucking
specific
gaskets
one.
because
Yeah.
your engine isn't like the engine that's in the
And
lane
then-
next
but
to you.
not
Like,
only that, you have multiple sets of gaskets at different thicknesses based on the area you're running.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you get
you're
the
at
right
high
compression
elevation. We're
ratios.
changing this. So
There's
like it's
so much like I
it's
love it.
Motorsport is fantastic. And F1, because it's what's awesome about it is it's so huge in Europe that there's so much support for that sport that you get everything. You get like what all the drivers do when they're not driving, how they build the cars, who's now selling the engine to this manufacturer to be able to put in this car.
Yeah.
Like, because Red Bull doesn't make cars.
Do
Sure.
you think Ferraris would be more affordable if F1 never existed?
No,
they'd be
absolutely
twice
not. I
as
think
much.
they'd be worse.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing with Alpine cars.
Because
same
that's
things
where
with McLaren.
look how much money they're making from that.
Look
They're
how much
literally-
money they're spending.
Right, but you have to think about the billions in revenue they're getting off of this licensing
Now.
that they're selling.
Now.
No, dude, you've been able to go buy fucking Ferrari hats and shit for fucking ever.
Forever.
Like that's where they make
Yeah.
the most of their money.
But back in the day,
Merch.
like when
Well,
all these
first
companies
off-
were starting and F1
first
was
off-
starting.
So I just
There's-
looked up Ferrari
there's never been
started
a
in
cheap Ferrari.
45 and they became public in 60.
okay.
So
Ferrari's also never made a cheap car.
and then Ford
No.
beat him.
3 years in a row.
Yeah, that was great.
Yep.
That's a good movie
you
too.
know,
Because that was a good movie. That was a very good movie.
I love that they actually
Sort
made
of-
it about the launch of the F40 and not like when Gurney got involved in like one of the subsequent ones and they stole the win from him and shit like that and like really made Ford look like fucking assholes because they literally took the win from that driver.
yeah.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
All right, let's wrap this bitch.
All right, boys. Like, share, subscribe, smash those buttons. I'm going to raise my glass. Thanks for being
I
my
saved a
freedom
sip.
friends, boys. Cheers, cheers.
Had to reach for it.
You know what? Tell your mom, tell your friends, and your fucking mom's friends.
And your friends, your mom's fucking.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Them too.
Okay.
3 little things, boys. Not hard to do. Not hard at all. Jazz,
Smoke 'em.
John,
Jerk on.
and goddamn it, kids.
Free the fuck on.
Later.